Faith No More shows, however, remained wild. On one occasion, the singer into his shoe on stage and then drank it. The drinking, the in the shoe and drinking, the in a cup and handing it to a young girl in the front row who assumed it was water and guzzled it. Things like that.
He likes Italian pop music and he likes on people.
Mike Patton on stage is a thing that was not going to end there. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour. I'm joined, as always, by my optimistic co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello, motherfuckers.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast. We listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole new discography per episode. And today, finally, we'll be discussing every album by
Faith No More.
Finally. Dude,
this was so easy. Why didn't we do this earlier?
I have this stupid thing in my brain of like, I don't want to waste the good ones. I don't want to, well, we'll do it later. So we wait until episode 197 to cover one of my favorite bands for a lot, like a large part of my life at this point.
Yeah. Also, technically longer than that since we started doing singles and stuff. So
yeah, we're actually at like episode 220 or something like that, something stupid. Maybe even more than that. I don't know. But this is, we're continuing. We peeled off the Band-Aid with our Patton bands by doing an episode of Mr. Bungle. So check out the episode on Bungle. And then we did Peeping Tom. We're finally doing Faith No More, even though it's not technically Mike Patton's band. That's where he started. It's why people know who he is at the very beginning. Anyway, he set the world on fire with his dancing and rapping.
What a weird thing for him to be known for.
Yeah, but although I mean, obviously he's known for much more than that. But yeah, I mean, at the very beginning, interesting. But obviously, we're both fans.
Yes.
What was your how did you find them? What's the deal?
I remember being a young lad. And I don't know if anyone else remembers those like commercials for compilation albums.
Oh, I think you've mentioned that before.
And I don't remember what this compilation album was called, but it had Epic on it.
Oh, yes, it did.
I just thought it was the most annoying sound.
Worst song ever.
They played like, it'd be like, you just get the little clips of songs because it's a commercial and they just... what part did they fucking...
It was at the very ending of the verse and very ending of the verse into you.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got a little bit of the rapping and a little bit of the nasally.
Yes.
And it's the worst introduction to the band and song because I get not liking the song. I hated the song for so many years.
And then I remember when I got older, there was Fuse TV, which is like MTV, but Canada, and a lot of VJs, I guess we'll call them that, on there were like Angel Dust is like one of the best metal albums ever. It's like, really? That group? And I like checked it out. I think I was just too much of a purist. And then as my taste evolved and they got stranger and more into weirder things, I was like, this is actually genius.
Yeah. Long-time listeners of the show will be not surprised because about how we feel about it. I mean, I've dropped how much I love this band. I mean, countless times. I'm sure you've dropped it several times, but I've gone to like detail about how this band changed things for me. There's no way this episode is under 2 hours. We're going to try to get through it without going into 3-hour territory, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you have the bigger love affair with the band for sure.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but maybe. Because I only know about them because of Mark Prindle, the same website that I've cited many times, old website that I discovered a lot of music from. I checked out Bungle first and fell in love with Bungle and then thought, I guess I might as well check out this fucking Faith No More band that I keep hearing about for my entire life. And I did. And then it was just love. And it's just so much. And yeah,
I like how we both went the hard route because I checked out Phantom Moss because of the Lombardo buzz.
Yeah.
thing and that live album, whatever it's called. So then I was like, Mike Patton fellow's a madman.
Certainly is. And he's a madman here. And even if some of the songs that we're hearing, he sounds pretty normal and straightforward. Believe me when I tell you that on stage, he's doing weird, crazy things too. He's a weird, crazy guy. We love him. But like, I'm not a Patton purist. Like I'm not like a Patton, like, you know, he's got some pretty fucking obsessive fans. He's one of my favorite singers in the world. Love him. But I'm not like the person who's like everything he touches is gold. I love everything he does. There's plenty of things that he does that I don't like. And I don't love all of his vocal choices, even though I think he's fucking brilliant. So I'm saying that to preface that I'm not coming in here to just shit on anything that he's not on and praise everything that he like I have a very varied opinions about this whole discography. Because I have heard everything here except maybe one album. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe everything except one. I forget, but still, I've heard these albums so many times that it's like weird. It's almost weird taking notes on them because I've listened to it for 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, there's two I haven't heard going into this, and there's like 4 different phases. You got Chuck Mosley, Patton. After
Jim Martin
leaves and then the reunion album
or gets fired, whatever. We have some notes here from our boy Tom Osman, who should all go support and follow. He compiled an extensive backstory. We're not fucking experts. We're just fans. We're just reading off the main bullet points, some interesting little stories and tidbits.
We're doing our best.
But also some of this stuff is really fucking interesting. And he compiled it was like a really extensive backstory from Louder Sound called The Real Faith No More, The Real Story, from the classic rock section, which came out which was published in 2014. It is thorough. We're going to fit as much as we can. I'll cut anything that if it gets too long, I'll have to cut a bunch of stuff, but we'll read as much as we can. So they formed in fucking where? Bay Area?
Bay Area.
I know that much. I don't know exactly where. I guess San Francisco.
Yeah. I thought you had that. I thought you were like ready to pull the trigger on that. I got comfortable.
I knew they were Bay Area. I didn't know specifically. All right, I stink.
Yeah.
But it was started by keyboardist Roddy Bottom. No, I'm stupid. He didn't start with Roddy Bottom. I mixed it up. It started with Billy Gould. Started with bassist Billy Gould. So it says right here from this piece, coming from Hollywood, he began playing in local bands during the late 70s, just as Sunset Strip was being infiltrated with punk groups like The Germs, check out that episode, and Black Flag, check out that episode. By the time he had reached 18, Gould had enrolled in college at Berkeley. Gould said, the first thing I did after I unpacked all my stuff in the dorm room was walk to the record store on Telegraph Avenue and look on the bulletin boards to get in a new band. There was a phone number for this guy, Mike Morris, who was putting a band together, and that was what became Faith No Man. And that is what happened. That was the band at first. It was Faith No Man. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I was like, is there like a comma or a period somewhere in there?
Faith No Man. It's funny how like the name Faith No More came out of that. And I've always I never really liked the name Faith No More as like a band name, but I always thought it was just some sort of phrasing, but it was really Faith No Man is where it came from. And that makes even less sense.
I always thought it sounded really metal, and I would say they're a metal band, but they're not. It sounds like a purist metal band.
I wouldn't even I would just call them alt metal because the shit they do is too weird and it's too all over the place. And the amount of times they dip into like easy listening, it's just too weird. So after he met up with Mike Morris, they got They got someone named Wade Worthington on keyboards, and they got Mike Borden, who is the Mike Borden of the band.
It's so crazy for a good chunk of my life. Well, I was like, that's Ozzy's drummer.
Dude, I just learned that today that he's Ozzy's drummer.
Really?
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that era growing up, he was Ozzy's drummer for me.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Well, good for him. I've having gone through these albums all over again. I love him. I love his style is so fucking cool.
Oh, he's the best at beats. And I know like he played with Ozzy and people know, but I feel like him and Gold are really underrated rhythm section.
Seriously, like there's man, it's so groovy. The things that and it's not just straightforward grooves. It's like really intricate little drum riffs that he's doing. I remember years and years ago, kind of when I first discovered Faith No More, I might have been like late teens, maybe 18 or something. And my buddy had a drum set and I didn't have one at the time. And I needed to practice a song that I was going to, for something I was going to record, but I need to practice drums. And so I'm at his house and I'm doing my shit. And then I decide, you know what, to fuck around to warm up, whatever. I'm going to try playing along to some Faith No More songs. Not one, because the things that he's doing are so precise. They're so written and precise, and it's incredible. It's like, no, these are like actual riffs on drums.
Those aren't warm-up songs.
No, dude, it's fucking cool stuff. I mean, he's great. So they recorded a demo, and I think I only heard like a few seconds of one of the songs. I haven't heard. It's completely different. It's a completely different style, but that didn't last long. It says right here, but tensions were growing between Morris and the rest of the band. Borden said, we all just kind of quit. We said, we're going to start playing without Morris. We like each other. We've got a vibe. We've got an itch that we want to scratch. So that's why there was keyboard, bass, and drums. And that's why we switched guitarists so much, because it was just us three. The man was gone. The man was no more. So now they became Faith No. I mean, that's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean the man is gone?
I don't know. I feel like there's sillier band names.
No, definitely sillier band names. Then they got guitarist Mark Bowen of no relation to Idols.
That's right. I never even put two and two together until right now.
Yeah, I was because there's a song called Mark Bowen on the first album. I thought, like, is that named? And that chick is, it's named after a guitarist. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's named after another Mark Bowen guitarist. But so they started playing with him, and they started trying out several singers. And it says right here, one vocalist that stuck around a while longer than the rest was none other than Courtney Love. Check out our episode on Hole and Nirvana.
I think we talked about that, and I forgot about it.
I completely forgot about that. I don't fucking remember that at all. That's insane.
We cover too many bases here, if anything.
Yeah. So Roddy Bottom says, Courtney was one of the revolving singers we had. She sang with us for probably 6 months. She was an awesome performer. She liked to sing in her nightgown adorned with flowers. He goes on to say, she was a very chaotic personality. She took a lot of work. It just got too much after a while. So after that didn't work out. They I think it was Gould. Gould invited Chuck Mosley, who was an old friend of his, to the gig that they had lined up. Also, I read on Wiki, it just goes to show how much you shouldn't trust Wiki, because Roddy Bottom's gay. He's been out since like 93. And it says on the Wiki that he was dating Courtney Love before, like around the time where they met, where she became a singer, and before he came out. And then it had a citation. So I clicked on the citation, and it's an interview with him. And in the interview, he doesn't say that. Like the interviewer asked him, "Oh, I heard somewhere that you two dated or something." And Roddy does not confirm it at all. He just says, "Oh yeah, we met at this point and she became a singer." At no point did he say they dated, because he's fucking gay. I mean, that's like, and then to put that on the Wiki as though he did, it's just, it's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, some dudes, they get their beards. And,
no, for sure. But no,
the
citation was bogus. Yeah.
The point of the interview was that they bought it up to dispel the rumor and like put it to rest. Yeah,
except the fact that he did not confirm nor deny, which is inconclusive.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. It just seemed like a bogus. It's a bogus citation.
Okay.
But they did stay good friends forever. I think they're still good friends, and that actually leads to some like messiness with one of the albums after the death of Cobain and all that. But now they got Chuck Mosley. And this is from Billy Gould. He says he had a couple of 40 ounces of beer. I don't think he'd ever sung before. He just got on the mic and yelled. We had a show in San Francisco after that, and he did it. It just started becoming a band thing. This is where it gets interesting, because right here it says, at the same time, Bowen left the band, and an old friend of Borden's, Metallica's Cliff Burton, suggested Faith No More as next guitarist. It completely slipped my mind that Faith No More and Metallica were friends.
Yeah, which member? One of the members was in a band with Cliff, right?
It was Billy Gould.
Yeah. Because I was reading about some of the songs, and they said they originated in that band he was in with Cliff Burton.
Yeah, exactly. And Mike Borden here says, I was with Billy Gould at a Mexican restaurant in the East Bay, and lo and behold, there's Cliff. He goes, you know, you've got to get Jim in your band because he's working a regular job and it's fucking killing him. You know, you can do what you want him to do. So that's already super fucking interesting that Cliff goddamn Burton got Jim in Faith No More.
Sometimes it does feel like these musicians from the Bay Area are real close, or at least when they have their peers, because even Primus and I forgot what else, but yeah, it's just like all these guys seem real close and they came up together.
Yeah, they definitely did. Right here it says, according to Gould, however, Martin's name came with a disclaimer from Borden, who had previously played with Martin and Burton in a band called Easy Street. So maybe it was Borden. It's not Gould. Either way, I'm getting mixed up. It was probably Mike Borden who was in the band. This is from Billy Gould. He says, Jim and Mike Borden never really liked each other, apparently. The way it was put to me was through Borden. And he said, there's this guy Cliff knows. He's an asshole. He's always been an asshole. I was in a band with him and I quit because he was such an asshole, but he could play guitar. Now that is choosing the music first. Tom notes foreshadowing here. Yes, Jim does not stay with the band forever.
Also, for a long time, because even as a young child, I loved Bill and Ted. So I thought that guy was like the poster child for Faith No More, because he's in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Is he really?
Yep.
Remind me.
He plays. Is he in heaven or something? I think he's in heaven.
Oh, I want to take a little look at this.
And he plays a guitar solo in the movie.
Oh shit!
Because they even say, I believe they say, "Oh, it's Jim Martin from Faith No More."
Oh, I haven't seen the movie I see the image right here. He's in the fucking phone booth.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Dude, I have, I think I haven't seen that movie in so long. I haven't seen it since before I was a fan of Faith No More.
It's strange. It's a strange fucking movie.
Yes. What I do remember very much is Des saying "damn right," and that's one of the greatest quotes in all of cinema.
Also, a lot of people's introduction to The Seventh Veil, which I've never seen, and what a weird movie to work into. Bill and Ted. Don't know it. Oh, that's where the death character comes from, and playing him in the games. It's a very artsy, dramatic film where a guy is trying to out-cheat death.
Gotcha. Yeah, so getting Jim, he's like the metal guy. So you get everyone who has all these crazy different backgrounds. Mike Borden was into a bunch of like post-punk stuff, and the metal that Jim brings into it, it's like huge. It's like such a big anchor point. At least at a certain point, it becomes like a real definitive part of the sound. And the reason it ended up being such a unique band in the late 80s, because it's like, you can hear how metal they are because of the guitar, but everything else is fucking funky and rap and poppy and like what the hell. So he really was like the perfect guy for the band.
They're one of the best PB&J sandwich bands.
Oh, definitely. So they went to the studio. They recorded with Matt Wallace, who was like a longtime producer of them. And I guess how it goes, I mean, this is fucking bonkers how the music world used to operate. They recorded the demo, which ended up being the first half of the first album. And Gould handed the tape to a friend that worked at a record store. And he said, just play it when people are shopping for records, which is like First of all, it's good to have a buddy that's willing to do that. And according to this, it says, it turns out that Ruth Schwartz, who started Mortem Records, was played the tape and she came up to the desk and to ask what that music was. And Gold says, my friend told her, it's just my roommate's band. She asked what label we were on and he said, they're not signed. And she called us up 2 days after that. It's bizarre, but that's what happened.
That's insane. That would never, ever, ever happen these days.
Never happen these days. The world is worse now. It is worse now because of the internet. God damn it. Thank you, internet, because we're allowed to do this show. But God damn. So yeah, that brings us to the first album. And yeah, out of everything that we're covering here, I mean, how many albums do they have total? What is that? 7?
Yep, 7.
7 albums. First one came out in 1985. Last one, 2015. So yeah, plenty of meat to chew on here. You ready?
Ready.
This is 1985's We Care a Lot. Oh man, that is funky.
It is one of the coolest sounding 80s songs ever.
Yeah.
And really underrated, as if you look at 80s compilation things, I feel this needs to be bumped up.
It's super underrated. Yeah. I mean, it's a big song for them, but it's not big enough in the culture, in my opinion, as far as 80s go.
Shout out to James Gunn for putting it in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. Do you know which version he put? Was it this version or the next version?
I think he put the next version.
I think so too. Now Chuck has a bit of a doofus voice, a little bit.
He is not a singer.
No.
A singer.
No.
I will say it is really fascinating how much of his DNA Patton is able to extrapolate, if you will.
Well, I mean, he had to use him as a blueprint, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, this version, the
hooky part of the chorus with the vocal hooks, it doesn't come in until like the second chorus. So we're missing a little bit of it. They kind of changed the arrangements around for the re-recording, but yeah, an absolute classic. It's no matter how much you can shit on Chuck's voice, and believe me, I am going to. It's super rad. It's super fucking rad.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the full thing, but on streaming they have the 2016 mixes, and I think that sounds horrible.
Really? I didn't hear those.
I thought it was a demo playing, and then I checked it said 2016 mix. I was blown away.
Whoa.
It was just, maybe that's just my ears. But yeah, this is such a unique album. What do you even compare them to?
In 85, it's Run DMC. Check out that episode. Basically, because I know who was it that said they were listening to a lot of Run DMC around this time period? It was Bottom. He was listening. He says he wrote the lyrics to We Care a Lot after listening to a lot of Run DMC.
And yeah, that quote earlier about how they were this plugging different guitarists in and out shows a lot, because the bass, drums, and keyboards are the star of the show in a way I can't even think of in another rock band. Yeah,
and because of that, least favorite.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think this is it's my least. This is a good album. Like, this is not even close to the worst album. This is a good album. Mm-hmm. I personally don't like it that much. I mean, I still like it, honestly. Mm-hmm. The reason why, the main reason I'm giving this least favorite is because the album that I think is worst, I enjoy, and I can't call that my least favorite.
Interesting picks here.
The reason this is my least favorite, number one, above all else, Chuck. I can't fucking stand his voice. He almost ruins these songs for me. He doesn't, but he almost does. A lot of them, they start out in a way that annoys the fuck out of me because of his voice, and then it works. I have to like work at it, and then I listen to it, and I kind of like let my guard down a little bit, and then I start to enjoy it. But at first, it's like, fuck, it's annoying. And the last reason is because Jim is buried. He's completely buried and he's not doing anything on here.
I think, honestly, it's pretty cool that he's just minimally used. I think it gives it a unique quality where in a genre that's so guitar driven, where it's like it's not even the second most thought about. I just think it makes the album so cool and unique in that sense. I want to compare and contrast some things, but I also don't want to get too far ahead. But I love the bass playing and drumming on this so much. I think it's so unique and feels good. They're not playing these. They may have been listening to a lot of Run DMC, but they're not doing that Rick Rubin.
No,
just boom bap production. It's this every beat is just so, there's so much to sink your teeth into, and getting too far. I think Mosley's voice is kind of used as more like flair on here, where the next album he is trying to, bless him, he's trying to sing, and he's not succeeding. Here he's kind of screaming, he's talking. It's not singing, but it's serviceable for what it is.
I do appreciate that, because he's not trying to sing as much here, but he still sounds like ass. And the reason why, even though the bass and drums and keyboards, they sound fucking incredible as a unit, there are moments where you hear Jim doing stuff and it's like, fuck, that's like on Pills for Breakfast. I mean, fucking awesome leads there, but you can barely hear them. It's one of the few songs where he does interesting leads. And then of course you can't ignore the song Jim, which is a fucking stellar, super short solo classical acoustic guitar piece.
Medieval guitars.
It's classical guitar. It's fucking gorgeous. He's an amazing guitar player, and it's
sure, I'm not
beautiful.
down with that.
So like you get little glimmers of like, yeah, he's great. The things that he contributes are great, and it's completely buried here. I still like the album quite a bit, because songs like Mark Bowen fucking rules. That song absolutely rules.
If we were getting into like the nitty gritty, this is, in my opinion, the best like Chuck Mosley. I mean, there's only two.
Yeah, there's two.
But this for me, if this is like the Chuck Mosley Faith No More album to listen to, in my opinion.
I do. So I prefer the next one for a couple of reasons. One being the one I keep stressing, the guitar. We'll get more into it, but there's more guitar in the next one.
You're just getting a taste of what drummers and bass players feel like here, Mike.
I suppose I am.
You're too used to the spotlight. Take a seat.
There's nothing wrong with the spotlight, Alex. There's nothing wrong with having the spotlight all the time. It's
like the ring in Lord of the Rings. It corrupts you. It turns you into a golem monster.
You're right. I am Gollum. And this one on this album, it ends pretty weak for me. Like I actually don't, even despite Mosley, I don't care for Arabian Disco or New Beginnings.
Yeah, Arabian Disco, I think, is a miss. It's too similar to a lot of other things, despite being a track that's one of the more guitar-driven songs. And then, yeah, Mosley doing the down-tempo stuff doesn't really work. It's also an example on the album where they feel like they're telling a story, where I think the other ones are more statements or like normal song structure. This is a story you can just take out of a song and it would still work lyrically.
Interesting. There's some other really great stuff. Great stuff here. As the Worm Turns is fucking fantastic. I mean, I hate Mosley's vocals so much, but goddamn, the song is good.
The most intense synths on there. I love this weird choice they do where there's a fake out guitar solo before the vocals come on, and then, man, the flams on there, they be flamming.
It's the most melodic and kind of emotional thing on the album. Very nice keyboard lines and guitar lines. I listened to the version that Mike Patton recorded of that because like, oh, I love this song. I like Patton a lot more than Mosley. Let's listen to that. And I'm hearing him like, this is fucking incredible. And then the record scratches keep coming on.
Oh,
DJ scratches all over it, and it ruins it for me. I fucking hate those record scratches.
To be fair, I am amazed Faith No More. They do things that sound like a DJ, but they never really did it.
They never did it on like an official album. Mm-hmm. On that version of the song, they absolutely do it, which is annoying. But yeah. And they're hugely influential to nu metal, which is pretty funny. Well, never actually sounding like nu metal. Well, bits and pieces. There's a song or two where you can kind of see like, oh, I could see that. But
I can hear it. It's just like what everybody does with history. They took the wrong lessons from it.
Yeah, yeah. What else we got here? We got Why Do You Bother?
Yeah, that kind of starts like a John Carpenter song. Yeah, I think that's just I really like the keyboard playing on that. I like how the final minute it devolves and then it turns into like an old-timey piano section.
Oh yeah, like super gothic sounding, yeah. Lovely. The worst intro in the entire discography is Greed. The worst intro. I think Mosley sounds like a fucking goon on that song. He sounds like a Batman thug villain oaf guy. He sounds dumb. He sounds like a dumb man.
Outside of the title track, Greed is perhaps my favorite song on here.
It's a great song. It is a good song. I'm talking about the intro.
No, I know that, but it's so good. I don't care. The drumming is amazing. I love how also the bass and drums, there's sections where they're playing where they're kind of off. They're not completely locked in. And this creates this cool feel to it. And I think that's what grabbed me. But yeah, it's also interesting how the title track is really the only hooky thing on here.
Yeah. A lot of it's way more psychedelic than I was expecting.
Yeah, there aren't big main courses or anything like that. This is for the love of the groove.
Yeah, because you get stuff also like The Jungle. Another reason why it's my least favorite is I feel that's kind of odd. I don't like the pacing of that so much. The Jungle, it's a cool song, but it comes in with this weirdly psychedelic. I mean, it still has the big, 80s heavy rhythm section, but those vocals are really affected and they're all over the place.
I like the vocal effects on there because there's these keyboards that sound like you're in a haunted house.
Yep.
It's one of the few tracks too where I feel like they're going into punk riffs a little bit. So again, being this band that blends these things no one else would do, it's like creepy haunted house punk music a little bit.
It is a cool song. I just don't like it as track 2. I find it to be a pretty weak follow-up to the title track, and it lows the momentum.
To be fair, I think it's a hard track to follow.
It is a hard track to follow. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, like I said before, the only song I don't like are the final two. And I was thinking like, I don't want to give this anything bad because I think it's a great album, but thinking about it realistically, I'm probably not going to come back to it that much purely because of the vocals and the lack of guitar. I'll still throw on fucking Mark Bowen, Jim, and As the Worm Turns all the time, but as a whole thing, I fucking just can't stand Mosley at all. I really don't like him.
Mike, those of us who play rhythm instruments, we have to suck it up and listen to a Nick Drake or something where there are no drums. You got to take the bullet on this one and just accept.
It is a good album, and the bass and drums sound incredible. I will give it that. They're great writers. I mean, Golden Bottom wrote all these pretty much for the most part. Yeah, I think they're like super underrated songwriters.
Regular rotation album for me.
Oh shit. Well, that's my least favorite, but it's still great. It's still good. I mean, it's surprising. Like, I didn't foresee it getting anything negative by the end of it, but like I said, the thing that I think is the worst album I enjoy too much to call it my least favorite. It's not. It's just not. But we have plenty more. So you ready for the next one?
I am ready.
So this is the follow-up, same lineup. This is 1987's Introduce Yourself.
There's that fucking signature Jim Martin guitar tone, which doesn't change throughout the entirety that he's on the albums. For the most part.
It is interesting to hear like a chugging. Oh man. I think that's so much worse than anything on the last album. Bless him. It's not his lane though. Not a great opener.
I like it. I like it as an opener. He still sounds like an oaf, yes. Even a little bit more because he's trying to sing more. But god damn, that guitar sounds great, really anthemic. Riffs hits super hard. Yeah, this is like the late 80s big MTV production. We're gonna get even more on the next album, but it's already here.
Yeah, such a cool, unique guitar part.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot.
I do not, and this is my worst least favorite.
I'm not mad at that, but I don't agree.
To me, there was only 2 albums worthy of bad things, and when it came down to it, this moved me the least.
I actually like it more than We Care a Lot.
I think that's obviously,
yeah,
but
I think it has
to reiterate. I think that's crazy.
I like the pacing. I think it's good pacing because the songs may not be. So we don't have anything. We have the song We Care a Lot on here, and I actually do like this version a little bit more.
I couldn't tell the difference. What's
one is a production. The bass sounds a lot better in my opinion on the original, but this version is a lot more cohesive. There's a lot more guitar work in this one, unsurprisingly, and then the vocal hooks on the chorus, they come in earlier. They come in on the first chorus, so the song moves a lot quicker. You kind of get to the meat faster, and it feels a lot more like there's more of a payoff. I feel like.
Okay.
Aside from that, we don't have like things that I maybe love quite as much as The Worm Turns or Mark Bowen. But the stuff that comes close is shit like Chinese Arithmetic, which I think is fucking incredible.
It's because the drumming rules on there. I like the subtle clicks he's doing. It's very spacey. It's the most dramatic Mosley has sounded.
Yeah.
He sounds okay on that. That's what he sounds okay on that one. And then he gets to rap a little bit.
Yeah, it hasn't aged the best, but it's fine, you know?
Yeah, there's also interesting stuff like Death March, where it's kind of got a beat poetry intro about getting not kicked off the bus, not even allowed on the bus, so you have to skateboard to the beach.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. The main guitar line, it's like kind of like a walking guitar line. It's very cool. It's on the darker side. And even though it's hokey and stupid, when Mosley starts to sing that, Ring Around the Rosie section, it fucking works. It actually kind of works. Yeah. Like I was surprised at how good it sounded with it. But I'd say overall the guitars really carry the song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a good example of the whole album. It's just such a more guitar centered album. And now
that's why it's the worst.
No, it's not the worst. It's now we get Jim doing all kinds of fun. Dude, on Ansong, which I find to be, it's plucky, the pluckiest bass of all time, and it's funky and groovy.
The most Seinfeld bass.
And I love Seinfeld. I think it's fun as hell. Dude, Jim's solo there, it's so goddamn good. It's so fucking good. All the little flourishes that he does, all his little licks, he sounds so damn good on the whole album.
If I was in this band, I would have been like, guys, we don't even need a guitar player.
It's what made them unique, Alex. The metal edge, Alex.
No, I understand that. We get there where there is this beautiful harmony of everyone is equal, and it's why we love Faith No More. But that's why they're in the band, where I would have just been like, no, it's just the three of us.
We're good.
We
We're
can
good
do
like
this. We can do this.
I'm also a pretty big fan of R&R, with especially when it see that I feel is a good follow up to We Care a Lot, because it keeps up the momentum. It has more speed to it, even though it's not. It's not We Care a Lot. It's not the opener anymore. It's still a hard song to follow.
The guitars on the main chorus there are some of my favorite guitar riffs on the album.
It has like a hint of Egyptian in them. Very nice ringing lines. It's pretty subtle, but it's very, very cool. And then, the crab song. That I get being pretty bothered by. I like it though.
That's the one song where I think Patton would kill that song. I think
he'd kill all of these songs.
Sure. If I get one genie wish of Mike Patton can only reinterpret one of these songs, I'm picking Crab's song.
All right, fair enough. You're right, because he's doing Mosley's doing a lot of characters and a lot of spoken word stuff, and then he does some clean stuff. But if you're going to bring someone to do clean vocals and characters, it's Mike Patton. He's like the character and clean guy.
Now you get where I'm coming. Yeah, now you get where I'm coming from.
It'd be great. I still like it a lot, especially with the bigger moments where it gets loud.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit funny, this bitter boyfriend in the beginning, and he's this salty young man.
Salty young man.
That's why he's a crab.
I'm not so big on Blood at that point in the album. It's just sort of more of the same. And his vocals are pretty fucking rough there.
Blood is simple and effective. Spooky synths, metal guitars. Let's go. It works. But I do feel like Spirit is not bad, but that is where it's like they're right after each other. They do approach similar territory.
Yeah, it's another high energy one on the metal side. But I like it. I think it's a decent closer. I think that's up there with Greed as far as ridiculous vocal intros. As a whole, I would say it just hits harder. And I love the hooks. First time listening to this, I liked it a lot more than second listen. So I'm not so bothered that it's like your worst. I wouldn't call it worse, but I find the vocals here on this album specifically to be so much a detractor, because I think these are great songs. And you combine great songs with mediocre vocals and you get a good album. Like that's how I feel at the end. Like, it's a good album. I fucking hate almost everything Chuck is doing on here, but everything else is so tight. You can feel them already being a unit. You could already see the direction that they're taking with writing. And it's also something that I didn't mention on the previous album. At this point, before they have Mike Patton in the band, they're such a rhythm-based band at this point, because Chuck is just sort of here and there, and then sometimes he's doing this, and then he's doing that. Sometimes he's just sort of all over the place. It's not until Mike Patton joins that they become a vocal-centric band, or they become like a rock band. Here, it's still like he's still kind of not fitting in. Like, you hear the band, like the music, the instruments so locked in, and then you hear this guy on top.
Yeah, you can tell it's the fourth, or do they have 4 or 5 members? At this 5. You could tell the vocals are the 5th most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible to ignore it, really. But it still has the trademark late 80s MTV style that we're going to get in the next album that I love. I happen to love that style. So it just feels like a slightly less good version of the next album. I'm gonna go ahead and say massively less good. I'm gonna retract that slightly and say massively less good, but I still think it's good.
Even with different vocals, this is a Growing Pains album for me. They're trying to figure out how to work in the guitar playing, and so Jim gets a little bit more of a spotlight here for sure, but I think it's Growing Pains for sure. I love the beats and the rhythm on the next one, and then I love the band they would become to just Yeah, nothing sticks with me here the way other things do.
You know what? I'm not going to change my pick, but you've made a pretty convincing argument that
I almost got you.
I want to make this least favorite.
Nice.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm making this least favorite. This is not
Yes. I won.
Alex,
I won.
Alex,
I fucking won. No, this isn't about winning. It's about music.
dude. I still like the album, and I like We Care a lot too. I like them both. It's just there's things about them that fucking nag at me, and that are like that itch. And it's mostly Chuck. I don't like that you can't hear Jim on the first album, but I also think that has some like bigger highlights on that one. I don't know. I don't know.
Get back to us at the end. Get back.
Yeah, I'll get back to you at the end.
We'll be here all day.
Yeah. Alex's worst and least favorite. This is where things took a turn. So they went on tour with Red Hot Chili Peppers, which makes sense for the time, around 87. And Martin said, this is from Jim Martin. He says, we were traveling in a box van with no windows, drove all the way to the East Coast for the first show. Flea asked me if we liked to smoke weed. I said, yes. And he said, we're going to get along just fine. We did something like 52 dates in 56 days. Fuck, dude.
Brutal.
So, and this goes on to say, it says, but it was during the group's first European shows that it became clear that Mosley was going to be the next to leave the band. The problems were exacerbated when a roadie friend of the singers was fired after getting into a fist fight with Martin. And Bill Gould said, by the time that happened, Chuck was already kind of out of it for me. On the same tour, tensions ran so high that Gould punched Mosley on stage. The final straw with this is the one that makes me laugh the most. It says the final straw with Mosley happened after the band returned home. This is from Gould. He says, there was a certain point when I went to rehearsal and Chuck wanted to do all acoustic guitar songs. It was just so far off the mark. I think I actually attacked him again.
Oh man. I was like, what kind of horrendous act did Mosley do to get assaulted? But apparently it could have been more annoying than
yeah it sounds like a fucking pain in the ass, honestly. So basically the same way they got rid of the other was Mike Morris, the same thing happened. I think Gould just quit. He's like, fuck this sucks. And then Bottom and Borden came up and said, hey, hold on, we still like playing with you. This still works. Let's just find another singer.
Yeah.
So they continue.
You have the bargaining power here, not the other dude.
Seriously, he's the only one with no talent in the band. Yeah, I think this is from Mike Borden. He says, Jim and I were sharing a place. We were partying hard and Metallica were in town. People getting fucked up and drinking Jägermeister. That was the beginning of the bad period that Hetfield talked about when he got sober.
Oh shit.
Damn, I didn't realize it was around these dudes.
Yeah, in the 80s, nonetheless.
God damn. So they started writing these songs for the next album, and I think it was Bill who said, you said the way he puts it, he says it was very fucking fully realized. This is us. This is what we are. There's a lot of like confidence. There's a lot of confidence in what they were writing, which makes what happened even more like insane because they're trying to find a singer now. And this is fucking wild. It says eventually the search for a singer began, and Soundgarden's Chris Cornell's name came up. So check out episode on Soundgarden and Audioslave and Temple of the Dog. So Gould says Soundgarden opened up for us a few times in Seattle. We were friends with them. I think one day Mike and I went to Chris's house to jam, but I don't think that we had a musical connection. Imagine Chris Cornell in Faith No More.
It probably would have been good, but I think there was, I don't even believe there's some sort of higher power working here.
We would not have gotten Angel Dust with Chris Cornell. No way in hell. No chance. No. But
I will say it is funny, his history of rap metal bands having an affinity for him.
Rage. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Check out episode on Rage Against the Machine, also from a million years ago before we had video. And then this is where Patton comes in. It says soon after, it was a then teenage singer who gave Borden a tape of his band a few years earlier in Eureka, California, that the band began talking about Mike Patton. Bottom was not exactly wild about the idea. According to Roddy, he says, Mike Borden really liked his Mr. Bungle tape he gave us. So did Jim Martin. I didn't. Not my cup of tea. What's not to like? What's not to like?
Especially if it was the thrash, but maybe if it was the thrash stuff, he couldn't see the bigger picture.
That's true. I don't know which one it was. I'm curious because if it was like, what was it OU818? Is that what the other one's called?
It's been a while.
Yeah, because it's like it's goofy. It's like more kind of like the first album. I'm curious though, but it says right here, Patton wisely lined up a tryout and soon became Faith No More's new singer. With the music already written, and this is what I was hinting at earlier, Matt Wallace recalls that the group were adamant that Patton work with what he was given. Wallace says, Patton was asked to write the lyrics for that record, and he did that within 12 days. He wrote all the lyrics and melodies. And basically he said, hey guys, can I make this part longer or this part shorter? And they said no. So the music was done and they were taking no input from Patton about arrangements.
Absolutely insane for anybody to do. More insane for a 19, 20-year-old to do.
In 12 days to write full lyrics to 10 songs. This
guy is like seeing and hearing things already at this young age that other people don't.
It's so wild. And to think like, it's not just write vocal lines and lyrics to these songs. It's formulate a whole new style that's going to fit the band. When if you listen to how he sings on this next album, it's nothing like Chuck Moe. It's like nothing like there's bits and pieces with like the rapping kind of stuff where you like, okay, I get where he kind of took some, but overall it's pretty nuts.
Also a miracle. Well, yeah, we'll wait till we.
So that's how we get Patton, and we might as well get into it because this is a pretty big album. You ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, this is 1989's The Real Thing. So MTV. God damn, does it feel good.
And yeah, one of the great album openers.
I mean, fucking light years better.
I wonder if anyone else felt his vocals were very polarizing when they first heard them.
Probably. I mean, he's never sounded this nasally in his entire career. He's extremely nasally.
He is younger too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be on like every workout playlist.
Yep. Oh, god damn, this is so hooky. Just listen to those drum choices, man. It's fucking great.
So tight too.
Oh. All right. It's all right. I'm just going to end up listening to the whole song. All right.
Okay. Now we can talk.
Yeah.
Best personal favorite. And this, it is really, I think, one of the greatest albums ever made. I think it's so flawless that even though they become this incredible, deep, experimental, crazy, unpredictable band that's truly brilliant and I fucking love. This album is such a perfect, it's immaculate. If we're talking about like the not counting the bonus tracks, not counting the cover of War Pigs and Edge of the World, it is so perfect that I have such a short list of albums that can kind of match it in terms of every song. Not only is every song amazing, there is not, in my opinion, there is not a single song that is even a little bit weaker than another song. Every song is a 10 out of 10.
I agree with that. Amazing album. And let me just quickly say, this is a great band to get to know. Me and Mike, where we both love something so much, but we're so different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I just wanted to say that real quick. This is a great episode to like. We're great friends. We agree with a lot, but when you get into the minutia, sometimes
when you get into the nitty gritty,
Yep.
we can have overarching agreements. That's the word. Getting the same with Tom, our history guy. You should all support. So much overlap, but if you get into the details of it, there's so many disagreements. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
Yeah, this is a great album, and even I think. Even starting with We Care a Lot, what other band sounds like this? And it's just continuing, even more so now. They're more unique and more different. And to have that confidence and to do it without a singer and just, I don't know, kind of be like, well, I guess the stars are going to align and that singer will fall in our laps.
And boy, did he. I mean,
yeah. So I just think it's such a ballsy move to record, be like, this is the ultimate version of us, and not even wait to. It's so crazy.
It is insane, and it's insane that the vocals ended up coming out this good. And yeah, I can get people not being into the nasally Patton here because he's really never sounded like this ever again.
Yeah,
It's insane. Like from here to the next album, he sounds like he aged 10 years. And then honestly, the next album that he did after this is Mr. Bungle's first album, which was 91, I believe. And he's actually nasally on that, just not as like, I don't know if I said it on the Bungle episode, but that year, like on that album, it's not my favorite Bungle album, but I think that is my favorite Patton has ever sounded, like tone wise, because he has a little bit of the nasal, but he's moving more toward his like more full, belting kind of voice. Here is, my God, this is nasally. I can't stress it enough.
Especially the "you want it all, but you can't have it" parts are.
Yeah, Epic is ubiquitous. So I
totally forgot too. Obviously, I was 2 when this came out, but that video is so legendary. They talked about it forever. That got him in trouble with PETA, alleged, because there's a fish flopping around on the floor. Allegedly, maybe it was Bjork's fish. There's just all these like crazy stories just involving that stupid fish, and probably put Patton on the map for his rapping and dancing, like you said.
Yeah, he got that. That's around the time that the rivalry, quote unquote, with fucking Chili Peppers came in, and it's retarded. I mean, I'm like a notorious hater of Chili Peppers, but that's because of their music. I just don't like their music, but I also don't like them as guys, mostly because Anthony Kiedis really took umbrage with Mike Patton in that music video. I mean, he really hated him.
Kiedis seems like the worst one. The other 3, and I'm including Frusciante, and even though he's in and out, there's a likability about the other 3, but then it's just like Kiedis just goofs everything up. Well, and I outgrew the Chili Peppers. I used to listen to them. I don't have that hatred. A lot of my friends do, but I've stated this before.
I'm not letting Flea off the hook because I don't know how true this is, but in Eugene's recent book, Eugene from Oxbow, he tells a story in there about how Flea tried to fucking run him over with his van.
Oh fuck.
He was passing by and like Eugene was waving at him like, hey, what's up? And not only did he not wave back, he didn't even slow down and he whizzed right by him, like narrowly, like almost hitting him. And then from that point on, Eugene was like, all right, fuck them, like super hard. Yeah, they played a show with Whipping Boy, and it was a disaster. And the Chili Peppers apparently didn't have their back with like some thing. I don't know. Honestly, I don't knock them for not getting involved in a giant fight with Eugene in the club and the audience. I don't knock anybody for not jumping into that fight, but whatever. Yeah, this is around the time of that. But I hated Epic. I hated that song my whole life. I thought it was the most cringy, annoying, bullshit rap rock thing. And then when I first heard this album, I was like, all right, here we go. Here's the song. And then as I kept going, the song is brilliant. The song is the guitar work on that song alone. There are so many insanely creative guitar choices there. There are too many to count. The whole solo section is amazing, but little things like where he's deciding to harmonize. It's on a lot of, like it's on the opener as well, From Out of Nowhere, where you get keyboard, bass, and guitar, and no one's following each other. They're all harmonizing. Yeah. It's so beautifully done.
And it is arguably done in a pop music package. The package is weird, but the sound and the foundation is pop, in my opinion.
It registers as pop pretty much. It's so glossy and shiny. I mean, this is one of the shiniest sounding albums ever fucking made. It's the most MTV sounding.
I love the production so much on this and the next album by producer Matt Wallace. Yeah. I think he just he just understood the band, and I don't know if they ever sound like this ever again.
No, they definitely don't. This is a very time and place sounding album, but it still has so much poppiness to it. Like Falling to Pieces, first of all, that bass and drums intro is fucking amazing, but then it goes into this sleazy hard rocker.
Yeah, the I don't know if it's a sample or a keyboard part. It's so unique.
Yeah, it's a keyboard part. Yeah.
It's 80s in the best way possible.
Yep.
Funky bass. And I just love the way the drums and the bass sound on this album.
So great. So boomy. And then we got fucking straight up thrash with Surprise You're Dead.
Man.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
Proper metal, bruv. And his vocals are just
incredible.
This guy's 1920 here. What the fuck? And for him to hit those like deeper parts where he sounds like a grown man is impressive considering how young he is.
Yeah, the range, even though he's like when he sings clean, it's very nasally. He's already fucking around with some Pattonisms, and that one he's not just growling. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's doing like really fast. I don't want to say rapping because it's not rapping. It's just sort of like fast singing, fast yelling, and then the growls and then the screams. But the riffs, man, they're so fucking crunchy. They're so cool. And it's perfect for pacing. It's like, you think you're getting this fairly straightforward MTV alt rock album, and then that comes on, and then following that, you get fucking Zombie Eaters. Just brilliant pacing choice. Now we're slowing it way the fuck down. We have a gorgeous ass acoustic guitar intro. And I think it's ridiculous how well written that whole opening section is, because when I hear something like that, I think of a lot of rock albums from this time period in the 90s as well, where, all right, time to throw a ballad in there. All right, you did 4 tracks, throw a ballad in there, and they do a little fucking wimpy ass ballad. It sets it up like that. It sets it up like it's going to be this ballad, but it's this incredibly written, beautiful section with really impressive guitar work, like really crazy good guitar work, and then goes back to metal.
And let me just say, I didn't dive too much into Patton's vocals, although I guess I should have, but he just has this funny, great lines like, look at me, lady, I'm just a little baby, to like transition in that metal part. Yeah. And yeah, Borden is still getting his unique beats in, even when the songs are more thrashy.
Yeah. Around 450, it jumps into this extremely metal section. And that riff, it's like, I think it's one of Jim Morrison's like just highest achievements. Just that one riff. It's just such a fucking cool metal riff. Fantastic stuff. And the title track is one of the greatest title tracks ever made. What is it? 8 minutes?
8 minutes. And it comes together so beautifully. You get like these fast, clicky drum beats. Yeah, I love the way the guitars and the vocals swell and it gets into these epic guitar parts where it's supported by the keyboard, and that's what was missing on the last album, I think. Here they're working in unison, and it's great.
Yeah, that's exactly. As soon as the full band comes in, both bass and guitar are just chugging on this gallop, and the keys are the ones doing all the melody, at least for like, you know, one chunk of it. But it has so many peaks and valleys. The ebbs and flows are fucking chilling and brilliant. I mean, so well done. It really has like some of the greatest buildup in all of rock music. I mean, god damn, that's a good song. It's just a good song.
Yes, sir. And yeah, I like this section where the vocals and guitar are kind of like stabby staccato. Like there's a lot going on there. It's 8 minutes of awesomeness that feels like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it's fucking incredible. And then you follow it with what? Something upbeat, happy, poppy, fucking Underwater Love.
Man, those lyrics, simple, effective. And I still like it. I think I agree with you. This is a flawless album. But if I had to pick one's got to go, I think it's that one. I like this song though. It's just so weird talking about being in love and having someone's lungs filled with water, and
it's so dark.
It's just like, I don't know, if I was 18 or 20, I would have just been like murder, and Patton has this crazy brain where like murder, specifically drowning, and you're in love.
Yeah, I remember reading a quote about that, where they were saying like the shit that he's bringing is really fucked up and super dark. Like, hey, buddy, like reel it back a little bit.
I think the producer had to like sit him down and be like, "This is phenomenal, but it's really dark."
It's perfect, especially with like such a poppy song. Oh, I love it. The Morning After. Absolutely gorgeous. It goes back to minor key with these really, really pretty, clean guitar arpeggios. Still giant drums and bass still.
I never noticed. Someone pointed out that song. You could take it at face value, you know, about waking up the morning after a one night stand. Some people view this song as a vampire being created. And I've never thought about that song before. I was like, that's a cool way to look at these lyrics.
Never thought about that. Interesting.
I do think the guitar choice is so crazy and interesting compared to what the bass is laying down, and that gives you a view into how all these men are mad scientists, really, because I don't think a lot of guitar players would choose that riff after hearing the bass.
Yeah, it's a heavy song, but he's going way, way gentle. And also, even when he does get distorted, there's so many little chokes. There's so many moments where he drops out and lets the rhythm do the thing, and it's such a give and take. It's so much harmony between all the members. It really is incredible. Like, removing the vocals entirely, like, God, the way that these songs are constructed are so intricate, but they're so accessible. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating closer. But it's one of my favorite metal instrumental songs ever. It's
Woodpecker from Mars, dude.
It's everything I love in a song. There's Middle Eastern influences, heavy guitar and bass, and it's bonkers drumming. It's so perfect. I don't know if there was consideration to ever add vocals on it, but I'm glad they didn't.
So glad they didn't. It's incredible. I'm sure he would have done a fine job, but there's so much happening with the song already. It goes to so many different spots. Like, it would have been fucking incredible with just like the big heavy moments. But then it goes into that section. I didn't timestamp it, but it goes into the section where it slows everything down with the big old giant ringing guitar notes.
Yeah.
And it goes halftime. Fucking so good. I mean, you didn't need to do that, but the fact that it did, it's just, oh man, what a fucking amazing song.
Yeah, it is. I think that was one of the things that helped ease me into the band when I finally gave them a listen, was songs like that. And it's too good to deny.
You know what it does have though that's not good, and I would say the only negative aspect of the entire album, it's got
What's
a bitch
that?
ass quick fade out.
You know, people are scared to end instrumentals. They're scared to be like, it ends
sure
here.
how to do it. Yep, not sure how to do it. But yeah, that's the original LP track listing. I mean, it's truly, I think it's absolutely fucking perfect. The bonus tracks, which you'll find streaming, and every other version has a cover of War Pigs, which I have a soft spot for. It's nothing special. It's just a straight cover.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and then the final the closer of the bonus track version is Edge of the World, which is like lounge music with a driving piano, lounge jazz.
First taste of easy listening, Faith No More.
Yep. We're gonna get more of that, but it's clean and sultry. And I've always liked that one too. It's a cool song, but really, like the first time I heard this album, I gave it a shot because of, I was such a huge fan of Disco Volante, and I heard it once and I thought, like, I liked that. I think there's something that I need. I remember mentioning this several times in different episodes, but I had this weird calling. Like, I need to hear that again. I don't know why. I don't feel like I liked it that much, but I really want to hear it again. And I listened to it again. I thought, like, yeah, I think it is pretty good. But why do I want to hear it again so badly? And it happened like 3 or 4 times. Where, like, I need to hear this. Like, it was like calling me. Like, I fucking have to hear it again. Until I realized, like, oh yeah, it's just genius. That's why I can't stop listening.
I think Mike Patton's actually a siren, and that's why you kept wanting. He's going to lure you. He was trying to tell you with Underwater Love. He's going to lure you into the ocean and kill you. He's a male siren.
He definitely sounds like one. Around this time, I think is when he was always doing pretty wild shit on stage. I don't even know. I don't think he still does super crazy stuff on stage, but he did up until like the early 2000s. But I think on this tour is when he fucked up his arm. They were playing. I think they were playing with like big old metal acts, like Poison and stuff. And I think they were very. I don't know. They made fun of them a lot there because they're obviously not that type of band. So they were like having fun with it. And I think there was an altercation. I could be mistaking the story, but this is what I remember reading. There was some sort of altercation and a bottle was broken on his arm and it fucked up his arm. And it was a very, very bad bloody ordeal. And now he doesn't have any feeling in it at all. So
I think I vaguely remember hearing that when I read an interview. I don't even remember. Long time ago. Yeah.
So that's fucking pretty nuts. But he was already doing pretty nutty shit on stage. We'll get into a little bit more in a couple albums. But yeah, that's one example of it. Good fucking God. Also, Tom added this little anecdote of his. He says, fun little story. When I was in school in Scotland, I took drama class and had to write a play. In it, I had a scene where all the action is behind a screen and Surprise You're Dead is playing. After the show, I discovered that no one could hear anything in the scene because the music was too loud. So, not a well-executed idea, but at least I can say I had a school play with Surprise You're Dead in it.
There you go.
That's pretty sick. They're just bombarded with metal. But yeah, my best and personal favorite, despite the fact that I think other things are well deserving of either of those accolades, this will always be my favorite because it changed my life. And I think it's just too perfect to not give it best. It's just too perfect from beginning to end.
It's well deserved. Again, I think there's 2 choices. I think that's one of the right choices.
Hell yeah, brother. So time to move on if you are ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
So they toured on this album for like 2 years. And by the end of that 2 years, I think it's probably safe to say they were tired of this style.
Maybe a little.
Because they definitely, or at least tired of the songs, because they definitely took a turn and tried different things. Very experimental songwriting process, very different relationships within the band. They even got a new producer on this one. But this is 1992's Angel Dust.
I thought it was the same producer. I thought it's still Matt Wall.
Oh wait, no, you're right. That's my bad. It is also, yeah, you're right. Who the hell is David Bryson? It was mixed by David Bryson. Sorry, Matt Wall still produces. You're right.
God, this fucking...
Yep.
What a bass line.
Huh?
What a bass line.
Oh, fantastic.
Again, what do you... Oh, he's doing a... It's not a walking bass line. It's not a funk bass line.
Fuck, man. Patton sounds like a different guy.
He does.
He sounds like Patton as we know him, but he's already doing a bunch of different kinds of voices, different little characters. God damn, that rules. Absolutely rules.
And this is my best personal favorite.
Really? Really?
What do you think I was going to give it to?
I have one other guess. A lot of people have one other guess. I'm actually surprised it's not the other one. I'm really surprised.
Well, you'll have to tell me when we get there. I mean, this is just peak Faith. Like, I love the real thing. I totally get it. But this is just so unique and all over the place in the best way. And it's just an album I maybe didn't love at first, but it just gets better as I get older, or I should say, it gets better with more listens. And it's just there's always something new for me to discover and be like, oh man, this feels so good.
It is I find this to be one of their more difficult albums, despite the fact that it is like groundbreaking and completely unique, and pretty fucking great.
I think it's just, to me, it's par for the course for Faith No More, where I think, sure, you could say that last one is more pop driven, but I feel like that's not really Faith No More's audience, especially in like now from like 2010 up. It's people who like weird stuff or avant-garde stuff, if you will. So in the scheme of Bungle and Phantomos, this is a walk in the park.
Compared to that, yes, this is pretty easy. But I would say I'm actually quite surprised that this is like their best-selling album. I'm pretty sure
that kind of makes sense. They built up so much hype on the last one. I'm sure, and then the wait time. People were probably real thirsty for some new Faith No More.
And it's such a fucking crazy bold move to go in this different of a direction. Like, this basically sounds like a brand new band.
Again, I don't know what it is where it's different for sure, but I think it's still close enough to the real thing.
I find it to be so different. For one, the main thing is just the style of writing. It's like they're aside from a few exceptions here and there, it's like they're actively trying to not be catchy. They're making now the most bitter and abrasive riffs, maybe even out of their entire careers on this album.
I think they if that was the case, they failed, because I think there's plenty of catchy shit in here, to the point where they even bring in like a cheerleading squad. Or
Be Aggressive
I don't know,
does rule. Be Aggressive absolutely does rule. That song is so fun. It's one of the most fun songs ever.
It's crazy. Church organ, slate porn guitar, the cheerleader main chorus. And then the keyboards kind of do this quick thing where they sound more like they're from Transylvania than a church.
The I Swallow section.
Yeah. Man. And I don't know. I think Midlife Crisis is also, it gets stuck in my head all the time.
That's an exception. Like, that one was like a legitimate hit. Mm-hmm. Especially the chorus is like the most anthemic big rock chorus. But it still has some wild shit in there. Like, first of all, Patton on this whole album is fucking nuts. It's like the beginning. I mean, obviously Mr. Bungle was the beginning of his insanity, but here is like when I think he like studied certain vocal techniques. This is like the time period where he started getting really weird.
Mhm.
And I do mean that in a lot of ways, because this is what Wallace said. He says he was into this weird twisted porn stuff. I remember he was showing me some of these videos he got from Japan. I was like, dude, what are you watching that for? Crazy shit.
I do remember an interview where he said the rest of the band would go out and party. I'm going to assume it was probably on the last album, and he would just stay in his hotel room with tape recorders and see what kind of noises he can make. And what is, like, you're a young man on tour.
Yeah.
And
dude, he was Mike Patton. However you feel about him musically, he's such an interesting guy, because when he was that young, this guy's handed fame like overnight. And what does he do? He just
wants to push himself further.
He wants to just make weird music. I remember an interview with him talking about, like, he was having like a legitimate conversation with a groupie, being like, why do you do this? Instead of banging her, he's like, why are you doing this? What's And as like a 20-year-old, that's really unusual behavior. I mean, it's good, it's mature behavior, but it's still very unusual.
Yeah.
And I remember also in the same interview, he was talking about like the methods he'd use, like, for this album. He was like depriving himself of sleep to try and tap into stuff.
It's specifically one song on here. I forgot what it was, but
caffeine, perhaps.
Yes, it is caffeine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. First, so caffeine's this track too. One of the most bitter things they've done up until this point. Like, that song comes on, it sounds like nothing before, because it's not like metal in the sense that because we've heard them do metal. It's not that.
Also, I think this album is overall this heavy, like right off from Caffeine. You're like, this is a heavier album for sure.
Very much. Really great vocal lines on Caffeine. Some of them really remind me of Alice in Chains, but there's so many like little twists and turns.
It's a really excellent song where it's so spastic, but not one beat is missed.
Yeah, it's extremely tight. And I didn't mention it on Midlife Crisis, but like I said, he's doing way more weird vocal stuff. There's that breakdown around 220, which is like, what the fuck is that? With these vocal samples, and it has this really weird rhythmic quality to it. Yeah. It's such an unusual little section, and you hear all these little samples in there, and it's like, man, that is just unheard of at that time in 92 or whatever.
For a band that liked hip hop, it's kind of crazy and that's the closest you'll get to DJ scratches.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane it took this long to bring that element into the band.
And even then, it's still pretty subtle.
Yeah. Man, RV is nuts.
Fucking rules.
It's just carnival lounge music. And that was the song where I was like, I think I'm more impressed by Patton's gruff vocals on this album.
His fucking Beetlejuice voice.
Yeah, this full Michael Keaton.
That song, it's like that main riff. It's like if Summer Heat was a musical, was a riff.
Yeah,
like where we could see like the heat waves, the heat lines, or like the heat. That's what that song feels like. It also sounds like the water music from Super Mario, the original Super Mario Brothers.
Underwater levels.
Yeah, but that chorus is weirdly catchy, like super duper catchy.
Smaller and smaller, certified banger there.
Yeah, there's no way you're not loving that song.
The verses are this surreal. It's Middle Eastern influence one. There's this one section where it's funky bass, but there's chanting over it.
That is the Tibetan monk chants. Yep.
Yeah, these guys just have a way of doing things where other bands, it would seem gimmicky or cringy. And it's just here. Yeah, why wouldn't you put Tibetan monks over funky bass?
Yep.
And have it coming out oddly melodic,
really melodic, especially with the keyboard lines that kind of support it. Yeah, it's such a fucking well done song. Like that chorus, especially, like, there's something really cathartic about that chorus where it's just a big giant. It's just this big giant thing. It's like, oh, and especially when Patton does the squeals at the end of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it just fits so well. It all, even though it's like a lot of this album is abrasive, something about it just feels right. Like the songs couldn't have existed any other way.
The next one, Everything's Ruined. Again, if they were trying to not be catchy, that's not a good example because
that's pretty catchy, pretty poppy.
Yeah, I love the like off note keyboard intro, and then this gets real groovy, and then it gets dark, and then they just turn the heat up. The main chorus probably isn't meant to be triumphant, but it sounds triumphant.
It definitely does.
Despite everything being ruined.
And I'll also love that guitar solo. There's not a whole lot of guitar solos on this album, and we'll talk about why in a minute. Jim wasn't a fan of this album. Let's just say that.
Let me just say, I kind of don't like him. He didn't like the album being called Angel Dust. He made sure to like distance himself from that. But then it's like Angel Dust is the least of your problems when you have songs called Crack Hitler and Jizzlobber on here.
Dude, Jizzlobber might be the greatest song title ever made.
It's so
Jizzlobber, that's right.
Man, that song is like they took stoner metal and ran it through a Nightmare filter and threw in some Slayer.
Yep.
And there's this like soul crushing like choir music. It's so creative. I don't think anything's gonna top like Woodpecker from Mars for closers, but this gets real close.
Dude, Jizzlobber is so fucking crazy. So it's funny you mentioned that song specifically because that's one of the few moments in the album where Jim is contributing a lot of guitar lines because those Slayer ass little things that he's doing.
Of course, that's him.
It's so fucking cool. I mean, it's insanely metal. It's like we don't have too much like metal things on here. We have a lot of heaviness. That's like thrash metal. And then also Patton, this is around the time period that he was like praising Grotus. He's singing like the dude from Grotus on that song.
That's right. That's right.
Check out that episode.
I'm doing so much in my life. I blacked out. I'm just so on to the next thing in my life right now.
Yeah.
I feel stupid for forgetting about that.
Yeah, because I heard this album a good while before ever hearing Grotus, and I didn't put it together until now.
Mm-hmm. Good catch, Mike.
Oh yeah. Malpractice is fucking. I mean, you want to talk about ugly and abrasive and brutal?
I think that's like the nastiest metal song they have, but it still has these nightmarish keyboards and strings. I like that quick, dreamy section that almost sounds like a children's song.
Yeah, around 2:30 with the little music boxes and falsettos.
Yeah, and then one of my favorite songs is Kindergarten. It's just
really,
I don't know. It feels so unique and special and different to me, and it's just songs like that, which are I don't know. In some ways, no song on here sounds like the other. I think there's the byline of being darker and being more like rooted in metal, but it's just everything's so unique to me.
It's funny. For years, I never knew how to feel about Kindergarten, and I think now I've finally accepted that I don't care for it. Like,
interesting.
There's something. So the things that I like about it are inherently the things that is inherently the reason I don't like it. It's because it's such a weirdly ugly melody played in a way that seems catchy. Mm-hmm. It's such a bizarre song. Like the whole thing, it's ugly melodies, ugly riffs presented like this big anthemic hooky thing. Yeah. It's bizarre. It almost like fucks with your brain. Like, what kind of song am I even listening to right now? Like, should I be like, should I be bumping this, or is this like a weird, like difficult song? I can't tell. It's a very odd song.
I was going to say, you were saying these things, and I don't know if they were meant to be neutral or negative, but they sounded like positives to me. So
I appreciate them and I enjoy that. But I think from a pacing standpoint, it always just halts it for me, because it is very hard to like that. I would say that's the least accessible song on the album. I'm going to go ahead and say Kindergarten. Even though we have songs like Malpractice and Jizzobler, I'm going to say Kindergarten is the least accessible song. It's just the weirdest to me for some reason.
Man, yeah. Speaking of just why continuing that, like a small victory, to me, it's another song where it's peak Faith No More, because what do you call this or compare this to? But I think that is one of the more accessible songs.
Definitely.
And also the 80s are kind of dying off, but you get a quick taste of the 80s there.
I like it. It has a very Asian sounding or Asian pentatonic sounding main riff. Mm-hmm. It's one of the more 90s alt rock sounding things, I think, as a whole compared to most of the album. But it just feels nice. It's another triumphant song. Like there's a good number of really uplifting triumphant songs on here. And it feels good. Even with like there's a lot of those groovy moments that I can't tell if there's record scratches in this one. If there are, they're very, very subtle.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they aren't.
Yeah, because it doesn't read as that exactly. It just seems like it could be.
No, it doesn't. I feel like I know a record scratch, and these are not it. Also, quick glance at the credits. I don't see any
thank God.
DJs credited. In some ways, it's cool. It's like the Tom Morello thing with his guitar, but with keyboards where you could arguably queue up a sample, but Bottom's such a madman, he's gonna like warp and distort these things.
Yeah. And then you mentioned Crack Hitler earlier on, which opens with some Voodoo Child sounding wah pedal stuff.
Porn guitar. Also to circle back to Ween, because man, that band is like, it's like the Faith No More effect, where I was just so overwhelmed by them, and now I'm just like in love with them.
Yeah.
That, if no one has seen the live Voodoo Lady from Chicago,
oh yeah,
it's just a different song.
Yeah,
and it's so amazing.
Oh, they're great. Yeah,
I don't know if they play it like that live every single time, but it's one of the few things where I'm like, the live version is where it's at.
That Chicago dude, that's a good ass concert.
So yeah, I just needed to update our listeners about my feelings about Ween.
Yes, Alex is now a Ween head. Finally. Yeah. Hell yeah. We have a Crack Hitler. It is the funkiest song on the album.
It is the porn guitars.
Yep. Along with that fucking I don't know what we call it, like 70s detective bass and drums combo with the little hi-hats.
Yeah. There was just something about listening to that song where I'm just like, these dudes they're not human. They're all aliens.
Yeah.
Maybe Jim Martin's human because he sounds lame, but everyone else is they're fucking nuts. Aliens.
Absolutely fucking nuts. The original closer is their cover of Midnight Cowboy, the theme for Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah,
which is very well done.
So beautiful. Yeah,
you got Mike Patton on melodica on there, and yeah, it also feels really good as a closer following Jizzobler, because that one is so insane and brutal. And it also ends, which we didn't talk about. It ends with the most bombastic, evil organs ever.
Yes. There are a lot of evil keys on this.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful closer. It leaves you with like a sense of like lightness at the end of it.
I always thought it was an interesting name for an album. And even reading the quote, I forget who said it, where they were like, no, it's perfect. It's this like chaotic drug, but it has a pretty name.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do. And I read it and I was like, I guess. But now talking to you about the album, I'm like, actually, yeah. this couldn't be named anything else but Angel Dust.
Yeah. I mean, look at the cover too. I mean, it's a beautiful cover as well.
I don't have a physical copy, but I guess there's even the juxtaposition of, I'm going to correct that though. When I get money, I'm going to order this. You got this beautiful swan on the back and in the front, and then on the back is like a meat locker.
Oh yeah. I don't have the physical copy.
So it's like beauty. And then you turn it around and like, what the fuck is this?
Oh shit. That's pretty brutal. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
In terms of like some of the backstory here,
real quick.
Yeah.
Also, we go full easy.
Oh yeah. How could I forget?
Literal easy by the Commodores.
Dude, yeah, I don't know how I could forget. Like, it's a bonus track, but it's like the real thing where they're on every version.
It's part of their set. It's like part of their set list.
Yeah.
In their older years. I forget what show, and I think they do it live. I like when they change the lyrics to sleazy.
Ooh, not bad. It's a classic cover. It's a straight cover, but they removed the second verse from the original, and they changed a little bit of the arrangements, but it's gorgeous. It's the reason I love the song. I'm now a huge fan of that whole Commodores album because of this cover of it. It's a great album.
Hell yeah, dude.
Except for Brick House. Brick House is on the album, and I fucking hate that song. I'll always hate Brick House.
I'm gonna get you one day. One day you're gonna give it up for Brick House. You know, I feel bad for a song like Brick House where it doesn't even get to stand on its own legs. It became too big for its own legs. Like the legs are like a Salvador Dali elephant, if you will, but the body is a full body elephant. Just the fame of the song has just completely crushed it.
That's true. I will say though, it didn't have the same effect that an Epic had on me, where it's like, I hate the song, but hearing it with the album, fuck it. I actually do like it. Hearing Brick House in that album, it actually makes the album less good to me. Like, that's how bad I hate that song.
Maybe you just haven't heard the Rob Zombie cover yet, and that'll turn you around.
I thought he covered Boogeyman.
I thought he did Brick House. I know. Shit, fuck.
Oh, those are two different artists. I know that, but
yes, he did do both. Thank God.
Oh my God.
Thank God.
I guess I have to hear that.
I've misspoken. I've been wrong about some things, but if I was wrong about Rob Zombie covering Brick House, I would have been upset.
That'd be a very interesting thing to fabricate in your brain if that weren't true.
Man, I might check myself into a mental hospital. Yeah. Like, I can picture him doing it.
That's fucking disturbing. It's a brick house.
I hope he adds Yaz in there.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. So yeah, according to this piece, they take all this time. They spent all of like 91 writing all this stuff and putting it together. And it says, when the suits at the label heard the material, they heard no Epic 2. They weren't pleased. Jim Martin says, after listening to some of the rough tracks, the president of Slash Records said, I hope nobody bought any houses.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It sucks. It sucks not to get a vote of confidence and to not have the label back you. But there's a layer of darkness. I'm sorry. That's fucking funny.
Dude, and this is like the worst part is right here. It says, of course, some of the band members had, and this comment made them very agitated and anxious. It's like, shit. Well, we already bought the houses. Damn.
Dude, also that's just, they probably did, mansions, but that's kind of crazy, like making that much money off the previous album and making an investment so big that the last album can't support it.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the Boys and Sparks, who always knew their bubble was going to pop and never lived beyond their means.
Yep. Good dudes. Great dudes. According to Matt Wallace, he said, referring to Jim Martin and his apparent dissatisfaction with the material of this album. He says he kept referring to the music as gay disco. He just hated it. And I kept saying, but we really need you. Your guitar playing is what's going to keep it from being gay disco. We need your big army boots in here.
Yeah, and you were defending the lack of this man's guitar playing earlier.
I you were defending the lack of his guitar playing. I was defending.
Yes. Sorry, that's what I meant. And you were offended that there wasn't enough.
Offended. I was offended because it was too much gay disco. For my personal taste, too much gay disco. It didn't work out. Apparently, he couldn't get his head around the material, and the band were furious.
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
I think it was a taste issue. I think he was wrong, absolutely wrong, and he should have maybe whatever. If he didn't like the music, he didn't like the music. But
and that's why it's even more my best personal favorite now
because he didn't like it.
Yeah. Good.
I don't think I'd like him very much as a guy, but I really love his contributions across the board pretty much. This is fucking funny. It says when Guns N' Roses offered the quintet a long stretch of opening stadium dates in the UK and the US, it appeared as though the band had it made. But Faith No More and GNR were coming from two completely different worlds. Billy Gould said, there was a rumor that Axl brought his psychic on tour with him, and it would be bad luck in any city that started with the letter M. So he canceled Manchester, Madrid, Munich, and he did Montreal, and that's when the riot happened.
What a fucking psycho. You know who caused that riot is Axl Rose, not some divine... Like, yeah, dude, you made it a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Do you know more details about that riot? I don't know anything about it.
It's been a long time. I think it was basically he refused to play.
Oh,
so it caused a riot.
So,
and that was the one with Metallica, right?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It says right here, during this time, Bottom also decided to come out as a gay man. And Bottom said, I don't know, it happens at different times in all gay people's lives. To the rest of the band, I think it might have come out of the blue and was awkward, but only initially. We're all free thinkers, independently motivated, and proud of who we are. And it's never been an issue with any of the band members, including Jim Martin, the guy who you typically think would have issues regarding such. I mean, take one look at the guy. You're like, yeah, this guy hates gay people for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was using it as a negative to describe like...
So do I. I don't mean it like that, though. I don't mean it's literally a homosexual disco.
You know what? Homosexual disco. I read a very interesting quote about disco music where it was, it was this big hit, and people kind of, especially from the rock community, tried to throw it under the bus, but they went so far as to be like, were they doing that because it was popular with the black community and gay people? Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
I'll tell you one thing. It was great for meeting women, apparently.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to the Commodores. I think, I think the world has also like softened on that and realized that was stupid.
Well, there's still a whole lot of disco dog shit, but there's some good stuff. Check out an episode on ABBA. Yeah, there's still definitely some good stuff in there. But yeah, this is from Mike Borden. He says, Jim's contributions, I got to say, between The Real Thing and Angel Dust, dropped off. I mean, I can think of Jizzobler on Angel Dust, but I can tell you half of fucking Zombie Eaters, a good portion of that whole middle section of Woodpecker from Mars, the whole of Surprise You're Dead. He was all over that album, Those were all parts that he brought, and all of a sudden, those parts weren't there. It was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Like, he just wasn't playing ball at all.
Yeah.
And, I was curious about his perspective on it because, and unsurprisingly, it seems a little iffy. Like I don't exactly trust where he's coming from. He says apparently he blamed his tension within the band on two things. He says Patton, he had some weird mind control over Bill and Puffy, which is Mike Borden. There were many embarrassing displays of megalomania expressed in the music press. Our presentation became very undignified, and as a result, I began to lose interest.
It's very funny. The guy who is in Bill and Ted is saying, not the rest of the band, just Jim.
Just Jim.
I'm sure realistically though, it's rock rock star shit, right? This shit happens. I'm sure there's some truth to what he said, but I find that interesting. The guy who put himself in the movie,
I think
like this, and I know Patton has dealt with his demons, and a lot of people considered him an asshole for a while, and he mellowed out.
Yeah, and this is also him as a kid, and I'm sure he was a wild man. And in fact, I can say pretty confidently, he was a wild man, a wild boy, really. But yeah, I'm sure he was just, it was already clashing to, sometimes you just can't be around people anymore. You've exceeded your allotted time with a certain group of people. It just happens. But apparently Jim was fired via fax. It would
have been funny. Was it Rodney who quits?
Roddy.
And then Roddy. It would have been funny if he had to do the he quits the band thing again.
Oh, it was Billy who did it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I quit again. And then everyone else stays.
Hold on. Yeah.
But I mean, it makes perfect sense. Martin says, I felt relieved. A great pressure had been removed and the pain began to leave my body. Yeah, that's a sign you're in a bad situation, obviously. Yeah. But this is something I didn't realize because, to replace Jim, we get my literal favorite guitarist in the world, Trey Spruance from Mr. Bungle. And I didn't realize this part of it. It says Martin's replacement turned out to be Patton's bandmate in Mr. Bungle, Trey Spruance. But Spruance recalls that Patton was unconvinced. I didn't know that. I didn't rerealize that Patton was not on board with it. Trey said, it definitely was not Mike's idea. He was not really into it, and really he was right. I didn't really understand what he meant at the time, but in retrospect, I definitely knew what he meant. They needed a fucking guitar player, and they were having a lot of trouble finding somebody suitable. I mean, their chemistry. It seems to me that the chemistry of that band depended on every band member.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah. And because of that, we get Trey on this next album, but he is gone the moment they're done recording. The moment they're done recording, he's gone. So don't get used to it.
Wow.
So if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hell yes. Now we're on to the next one, everybody. This is 1995's King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime.
We are so into my least familiar Faith No More albums. Yeah. I never
you
heard
never
these
listened to
two
this album
albums.
before?
For some reason, I was,
Are you, dude? I can't believe it. This is one of the greatest openers. Easily like their most energetic opener in the whole discography.
I do like those technical metal riffs.
Yep.
God damn. So that's a short and sweet
opener that I think kicks all sorts of ass.
This was like in consideration for negative.
What? Alex, this would have been my personal favorite. This is Tom's favorite. This is most people's favorite. Most people that I've encountered that are like Faith No More fans, they go to this one, and I completely get it. You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind. I prefer this album over Angel Dust in almost every possible way. This is a fucking incredible album. Alex walked up. The first time I got Alex to walk up.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is not fine. It is great. This is a great album.
No, this is...
What? How are you high, man? Are you high?
No.
What are you talking about? It's fucking amazing.
It's okay.
Dude, this is where they start venturing hardcore into all kinds of different genres. Not to the wacky level of a Mr. Bungle, but the range of this album. It's not paced quite as well as the previous few, but fuck, man, the highs here are unbelievable.
Like, sure, it's daring. It's taking swings, but a lot of those swings are just...
Hard disagree. I think almost every swing lands completely.
I want to know outside of you, like I think it's like if you want to defend it as a dark horse album or a like overlooked album, but like it's like bottom 2 for me,
dude. I'm gonna tell you this: you are the first Faith No More fan I've ever met that didn't say this was their favorite.
I need to talk to more Faith No More fans. Like I think you and Comic Book Chris is a madman.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Also, he started listening to us for some reason, but
because of our Hot Snakes episode. Check out our episode on Hot Snakes and Drive Like Jihu.
It was actually our Crass episode.
Oh,
he went to see them and he wanted to know more about them, and for some reason our video comes up.
Hell
which is
yeah,
cool.
it does. Hell yeah, it does.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to my friend John. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I don't fucking get it,
dude. So I'll explain whatever you don't get.
That's what we're here to do.
So one thing that this album has that Angel Dust doesn't, it's still heavy and abrasive, but it's taking way more. It's putting hookiness as a much bigger priority. So songs like Ricochet, it's far more accessible, but the vocal hooks are like, I don't like it as a track too. I think it slows down the momentum a little bit. I think it's bad for pacing, but goddamn, beautiful vocal harmonies, big, heavy, great buildup, wonderful vocal lines, especially as it goes on.
It's fine. It doesn't feel as unique as their other stuff.
Evidence is one of the greatest songs ever written. One of the greatest songs ever written.
You know what's funny? I agree that's one of the stronger tracks here. I love that you love this song because halfway through I realized this is proto Incubus.
Fuck. Oh man. Oh God. I feel like I've been stabbed.
Chill funk music. It sounds like Sade sometimes. It takes quite the turn when those strings come in. It is. I'll give you that. It is a highlight on the album, but we cannot deny, much like we were saying, a lot of, and you know what? The same way I feel about the Chili Peppers, the same way I feel about Incubus. I think they're a great gateway drug that got me listening to weirder shit, but it is proto Incubus.
Oh, it's so much more, Alex. It's so much. So one of the reasons why I love this album so much and why it's my second favorite is because, well, I love Trey Spruance. The reason why Trey Spruance is my favorite guitar player is not because he's a shredder. It's not because he's a big personality. It's because he can do anything. And on this album, he does everything. On Evidence, he's not just doing jazz guitar. He's doing it in such a convincing way that you kind of don't even register that he's doing all this stuff. But you realize that that crazy, really authentic sounding jazz guitar playing is the same guy doing the super crazy Kuka for Kaka metal sounding stuff. That
is one of the greatest song titles, though.
A brilliant song title. Yeah. He's the same guy doing Star AD, which is like, it's got fucking swing. It's got a bunch of horns on there. Mm-hmm. So damn good. He can do really anything. And that's why I think he's just incredible. So here we lose the characteristic style that Jim had, but now that the Trey's here, they're just trying everything. And because everyone is so fucking good and Trey is so convincing, everything that they try sounds very, very convincing. That's what makes it, I think, so fascinating, is because it's not just a band trying out a bunch of different genres because they're getting bored. It's a band nailing a bunch of different genres because they just decided to try it. So
I don't think they got that X factor.
Oh, I think they got the X factor, Alex.
They're doing a lot of shit, sure, and they're amazing players, sure, but I just don't feel passionate or over the moon about a lot of things. So,
oh god damn it. And Patton is even fucking crazier than ever. So some of his most batshit vocal lines are on this album. For example, the vocals on the second verse of Kuka for Kaka are fucking insane. Like he sounds like his vocal cord is being wrung out like a rag. Like that's the only way I could possibly describe it. It is a bizarre sound that he's making. And then the main vocal line to the chorus of Ugly in the Morning, it rules. It absolutely rules. Don't look at me, I'm ugly in the morning. But the way he does it is so fucking fascinating.
Yeah. At that point, also I realized another like negative for me was like all the like unique keyboards, the unique bass playing, the drumming. It's just not, it's not here. The songs are diverse and technically fine, but like that quote they said where like each band member is important. I just feel like you lose something. And I think on the next album and on the reunion album, they're a different band, but those are both more satisfying to me.
You're not wrong in the sense that it's not as cohesive because Roddy's not really here. He contributes almost no writing to this album, which is pretty unheard of. And he's playing on it, but he's not playing on it nearly as much. And that's because Kurt Cobain died around this time, and he was friends with Kurt, and he's very close friends with Courtney, and it hit him very hard, and he was going through a pretty bad heroin addiction at the time. Yeah. So he was really fucking not, and he didn't like the music either. He was fucking out. He was not involved, and there's a pretty big void there. So you really don't hear like the way, the rhythm section's holding it down and then the keyboard lines are creating this other melodic mood to it. There's nothing like that here. It's way more, you hear a lot more easy listening, honestly.
Well, I'm glad there's a reasoning behind it.
Having said that though, the places that you don't like how the swings they're taking, but I like songs like Caralho Voador. It's like jazz salsa. I don't know what you call it, but it's fucking beautiful and really subdued. It's also a great follow up to Kuka for Kaka because it's so contained and so quiet and chilling compared to it.
Yeah, Mike Patton does his sexy voice on there.
His Italian vocals,
Yeah, it's not like on paper, sure, let's do these things. They sound great. It's an execution thing for me. Execution.
Okay. In that case, how do you not love Take This Bottle? I think it's one of my favorite songs of all time. Honestly, Take This Bottle. They do country and they fucking nail it.
I'm just learning a lot about you, Mike. I think you secretly like Sade. I think you secretly like Incubus. And now I secretly think you like Bob Seger.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'll take Sade and Incubus, so don't you dare say I like Bob Seger.
I think you like Bob Seger.
No!
Like, again, it's a fine song. It has that country influence, and again, maybe more like a Bob Seger where it's rock and roll in the spirit of country. It's fine.
Yeah, it's very dark too in terms of country style stuff. I think it's absolutely fucking gorgeous. I've listened to that song really too many times. The title track, or at least it's called King for a Day. It doesn't have the Fool for a Lifetime. King for a Day comes in, big old giant acoustic guitars. I really love the piano choices on that. That's where I feel like that's like the highlight of Roddy on the entire album is on that song.
Yeah, the Faith No More bass and guitars are there. I don't want to say they're buried, but they're not exactly where they should be on the song for me.
I think it's so cathartic. It's super satisfying the way it builds. And the very lengthy outro, I think, is absolutely gorgeous.
Great guitar playing, though. I don't want to be all negative. It is great guitar playing on that song.
Sure nails it. I would be very ashamed of myself if I didn't at least note the vocals to The Last to Know. because those vocal lines have been, they literally echo in my mind daily. Like that's how much that vocal line has stuck with me over the course of 10 plus years.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Faith No More song ever. I think it's a great song, but it's something about the vocal lines on that song that they're just literally every day of my life. They pop in at some point.
I think that song is a highlight for me, and it resonated with me because I don't think they do this on any other Faith No More song, but they're doing doom riffs.
Yeah.
Like doom metal.
Yeah. Just a Man, I think, is one of the greatest closers of all time. You got to give it up for Just a Man, for the love of God.
I don't hate that. That is one of, I will say, this is what you're getting out of me. It is interesting. The guitars, they're oddly tropical. It's kind of Faith No More doing a ballad. And then this thing, like bonkers spoken word part about Icarus
was born to love, though often he is sought like Icarus to fly too high and far too lonely than he ought.
You kind of made it sound like a dub for like an old kung fu movie there. I liked it. And then strong choir vocals.
Dude, the choirs, it's the most hopeful, triumphant song they've ever done. The gospel choir is massive. I mean, I think during one of the reunions, it might have been in like Brazil or something, they brought on a full choir to sing that song with them. I think there's still a video of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Same performance where I think Mike Patton swallows a shoelace during a song, and someone threw a shoe on stage and he started swallowing the shoelace and started gagging it up.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Dude is out of his fucking mind. But Just a Man, I think it's a brilliant song. Patton's vocals they're a goddamn triumph. And I think it's one of the greatest closers ever. Having said that, I think this is a brilliant album, but there is one song on the album that I legitimately hate, and that is Digging the Grave. That
is crazy to me that was a single off here, because I'm the most, you know me, if it's boring, that's worse to me than being chaotically awful, and it falls into the boring category for me.
That's funny. It falls into the boring category for you, but it falls into the I hate it category for me.
Yeah.
Like the riffs, I can't stand the riffs and vocal lines. They feel so obvious and just predictable and kind of just average. And then there's this breakdown at a minute 40 that is stupid good. It's so good. It goes on for 20 seconds and it's back to the shit I hate. It's like, I don't understand that song. Like I have to skip it every time I hear this album. It's crazy. And I rarely skip songs and albums that I like.
Real quick, is this the one you thought I was going to give my best accolades to?
Yeah, most people do. It's Tom's best as well. So I was very surprised.
You're all wrong. I'm going to bed. This episode's over.
Yeah, I really thought you were going to give this something. I thought it was going to be a personal favorite or something. I can't believe it. This is such a fucking amazing album. Oh my God.
I'm going to go back in time and tell myself to make this worst least favorite just to see the chaos it would ensue.
Honestly, I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't love it as much as I do, but the first person I've met that was a fan of Faith No More and didn't love this album. I mean, I'm flabbergasted by this.
Well, the Bay Area Music Awards say Green Day's Insomniac is a better album than this.
Well, they're fucking stupid. I hate them.
What a great note to end on. Fuck, that was good.
So this was produced by Andy Wallace, who is not related to Matt Wallace, which is interesting. And Tom made an interesting note about this. He said, a friend of mine told me years ago that this album is a story about a guy who goes to prison and that a lot of the songs are about prison rape. I remember presenting this theory about the album on Reddit or somewhere, and people got very upset about it. Don't actually know if it's true, but I've always kept that idea when I listen to the album. If you've never considered this before, you'll see some of the lyrics in a whole new light. I can't stop thinking about that now.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Definitely.
That would explain the cuckoo for caca.
Indeed.
Also, why is caca censored on streaming?
It's fucking ridiculous. Caca is CACA is censored.
I've read horrible song titles.
It's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Ugh. God, I hate censorship. So some of the background of this album, this piece says right here, the death of Kurt Cobain was a contributing factor in Bottom entering rehab to address a heroin addiction. And he said, I was friends with Kurt mostly through Courtney. We became close fast. His death was really a serious blow to me, but reinforcing because I'd stopped doing dope myself, and it was a reminder of where I could have gone with it. Gould said, Roddy wasn't really into the music, so that was difficult. He was just coming out of rehab, and I guess this is common with people with substance abuse who've quit. They reevaluate all of their relationships to see what put them there in the first place. And I think he saw us in a very negative light. He wasn't carrying his weight. We wanted him to. He just wasn't there. And then just a few weeks before the tour was supposed to begin, Trey takes off. Very akin to Robert Smith in Susie and the Banshees. Check out that episode, or both those episodes.
I was gonna make a joke that Robert Smith left Faith No More, but you beat me. You beat me to it.
But for the tour, they got Dean Menta, who was their keyboard roadie.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, at this point in the band, things were already getting very tense between all the members. Menta said they talked shit behind each other's backs constantly and avoided each other pretty much as they always did. And then Menta didn't like playing with him because of Patton's onstage antics. This says, Faith No More shows, however, remained wild as Patton's onstage antics kept Menta on his toes. On one occasion, the singer peed into his shoe on stage and then drank it. Menta said, the peeing, the pooing, the drinking the pee, the peeing in the shoe and drinking, the peeing in a cup and handing it to a young girl in the front row who assumed it was water and guzzled it. Things like that.
Man.
Dude,
Man.
Mike Patton peeing on stage is a thing that was not going to end there. It kept going into his days with Tomahawk. He was peeing on the audience all the time. There was like photos of him pissing on the audience.
Jeez, I didn't realize he's like a junior G.G. Allen.
Yeah.
A more talented G.G. Allen.
Definitely. They actually cover a G.G. Allen song on, I don't know if it's the sessions of this album or Angel Dust. No, it's this album. Yeah. It's I Want to Fuck Myself. It's the sessions for this album.
Okay. He likes Italian pop music and he likes peeing on people.
He's a very weird guy. I think I remember reading about the incident with when he was playing with Tomahawk and he peed on the audience, and his way of like dodging getting in trouble was saying it was a dildo that squirted water. And it's like there's photos of him holding his cock. Like, it is not a dildo. He is peeing on the audience.
Man. Yeah, I'd probably dislike him too at that point in his life.
Yes. I have the same admiration for this time period, Mike Patton, as I do for comedian Ari Shaffir. I love what they do. I respect what they do. I respect their values of what they're doing. I don't want to be friends with them or be close to them because gross things are probably going to get shot my way. There's going to be some sort of bodily fluid or icky thing or nasty prank. I don't need that. I'm fine. I appreciate what you do from over there.
Gross.
Yeah, pretty gross. Apparently, Gordy Walker, R.I.P., from Killing Joke, auditioned to join for this album, but turned down the band saying they were too suburban, quote unquote. This is according to Tom. He said Tom also said that he says, I found an interview with Billy Gould where he said that actually what happened is that the band jammed with Gordy, but that his style was so distinctive that the Faith No More guys realized it wouldn't work to have him a part of the band because his style would be too dominating or something like that. Dude, Gordy's guitar playing, you couldn't have him in anything else except Killing Joke. It's just,
It's like Josh Homme showing up and
just taking over the whole thing. God damn, I miss Gordy. But now
we got two left.
We got two left. We got to move. We gotta move. This is a long episode. We knew it would be. Let's just okay. I love the album. Alex is lukewarm on it. How do you feel? Fucking leave a comment or something. Anyway, Next, we have when things are going really south and the band is barely even hanging out. They're recording in separate places. Patton is working a lot with Bungle and probably other stuff. Everyone is doing a bunch of shit. It's scattered. They got a new guitarist. This is 1997's album of the year.
Surprising to hear him go this like primitive and guttural at this point. Go this primitive and like guttural at this point.
Yeah, it's a big, chunky, hard, like big rock energy. Very big rock energy. I dig the bass and drums a lot in this verse.
They're more of a focus on this album.
Yeah. It's not metal, but it is very heavy. Or at least it doesn't feel traditionally metal.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Interesting song. I don't love it as an opener.
I think it's one of my least favorite openers, but I do like the song.
Mm-hmm.
Worst. Now, this is easy worst for me.
I obviously don't agree, but I think there's some nuggets here.
There are definitely some nuggets, and the reason why I gave "We Care a Lot" or maybe introducing, introduce yourself. Least favorite is because I can't give this least favorite because I like the album a lot. I listen to this album a lot. There were songs on here that I think are some of their best ever. I like the pacing in the middle of it a little, like a good amount. But boy, there are the worst Faith No More songs ever on here. And
I hope we disagree. This is going to be fun.
And it's got a lot of it's got some problems. Strip Search comes in, and I think it's fucking amazing. I think it's probably one of their best.
I dig it. It's like Faith No More doing a song featuring Air. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it feels good immediately. It's because we got basically no keyboards on the last album. That one, it's like the whole song keyboard. It's a focal point. We're gonna show it off. Fuck it, and they feel great. They're so spacious. They feel like they're like kind of surrounding you.
And speaking of keyboards and things that are like, I think important, like songs that stand out, like Last Cup of Sorrow is like, I love that twinkly keyboard thing. It's just so cool, and I think it holds up.
That main riff to Last Cup of Sorrow it feels so good, and it's almost entirely because of those keyboard lines, those little twinkles. It's so satisfying, very chunky, it's very strong. The chorus, I find it to be very fine and unremarkable. It's just, and I think that kind of drags the song down. I think it's a fine song, but it's mostly that opening riff that's memorable. Before I forget, on Strip Search, there's on the outro section where it gets really big and heavy. The keyboards there, they sound like the alert sound from Metal Gear. It's so cool.
They do.
I can't let that slip. But the first misstep comes with Naked in Front of the Computer.
Been there.
Yeah, haven't we all? But what it reads to me is like them finally repeating themselves. It feels like a weaker version of Get Out from the last album. It's the same kind of format. It's a short song. It's higher energy. Even the verses are very similar. But the main riff, that opening riff, it's not great and it feels really lazy.
Yeah, I think the highlight for that one is the layers of percussion. Not like crazy layers, but they just do something to spice it up a little bit.
I like how snappy it is. I think the verses are very snappy and fast, and they feel good. But I wouldn't say it's a bad song. I just say it's not good for pacing. That opening riff is really bad, or that main riff is pretty bad. And it's the first sign of like, oh, okay, they're kind of doing some weird stuff here. And I will say that Patton writes I think 3 songs here that are exclusively his songs, and they're some of the worst on the album, and that's one of them.
That is one of them. The other one, or the next one, is Got That Feeling.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think so. Considering how many times I've heard this album and how little recollection I have of that song is a pretty bad sign.
I think because when they go heavy, they borrow from heavy metal elements.
Yeah.
And then, except for Jungle, there's really next to zero punk influence, I would say.
Surprisingly little, considering Patton is like heavily inspired by Bad Brains and whatnot. Check out episode on Bad Brains.
I think that one they try to go more punk.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work in their favor.
It is punkier. Of course, it has a little bit more complex arrangements, but it definitely has a punk energy. But it's just very average. Passive Glory, I think, just stinks. I really don't like it. It's another really forgettable one. And the song I will say I think is the worst Faith No More song, Homesick Home, is the worst Faith No More song.
I think that song is just so it's so quick. It has this drunky, sleazy vibe to it. It just kind of falls into no harm, no foul for me.
I find so much harm and foul. It's like there's so many elements to that song, and I think none of them go together. The drunken vocals, the really weird sleazy riff, the big tom drums. It's like you took all these interesting elements and they don't mesh at all. It's just a fucking weird, ugly song. I think it's actually terrible. However, there are still great things here. Helpless, I think, is another one of their best songs, and it's another favorite of mine.
Heavenly vocals. I love the relaxing acoustic guitar on there. Another strong standout to me, and I thought maybe it's a Bowie cover at first, but thankfully it's not, because Ashes to Ashes Bowie is an okay song, but Ashes to Ashes is great sludge guitars. In some ways it does feel like a bit of a throwback to the first 2 albums with Patton.
Yeah, it's very anthemic. It's very big. Such strong vocals on that one. And I love the keys on the verses. They mix really well with Patton's deep croons. And then there's like we have new guitarist John Hudson on this one. There's like a pretty minimal guitar solo around 2:15. Super well done. It's just exactly what you need. It's nothing flashy. It's just really nice. Great song. Mouth to Mouth sounds like it could be a fucking bungle song.
It's the wackiest song on here.
Wackiest song maybe in their whole career, or one of the wackiest.
Yeah, I think, that's kind of missing from here on this album overall. So it's great to hear it there blending this wacky Middle Eastern sounds with heavy metal guitars.
I like the wacky Middle Eastern stuff a lot. I don't find the choruses to be that great at all. I find I think the choruses feel extra bland following such insane verses.
I mean, yeah, these 2 albums, King for a Day and Album of the Year, we're back to, the main choruses aren't that memorable.
I disagree wholeheartedly on the last one. I think the choruses are extremely memorable on the other one, but this one, a lot of
really aren't.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Faith No More fans, attack him. Attack. Go for it. I send thee. Another one that I have a soft spot for, that's one of my favorites, even if I get why it wouldn't gel with everyone. She Loves Me Not, I think, is so goddamn good. It's just straight easy listening. It's just easy listening.
Yeah. They should do a whole album inspired by the Commodores.
It's great. It feels so good.
Just cover nothing but Commodore songs.
I'd be into it, honestly. Yeah. She Loves Me Not is it's got energy to it. It's easy listening, but it's got energy to it. It's got some speed. Awesome vocal lines. It's just, you put that on for your parents and everyone will love it. I mean, it's great. It's great. It closes with Pristina, which is it's a good closer, but it's an odd song. They don't have any others like it.
It is very much done in the doom sludge metal, not Sono levels, but the big ringy guitars.
Yeah.
Minimal drumming. I like it. I like it as a closer. And then, yeah, the main chorus actually has some melody to it, which I wasn't expecting in a big doomy song.
Yeah, most of like a good half of the song, it's just big hits, like you said, very sludgy, with like falsetto vocals, and it's falsetto vocals that really remind me of California era Mr. Bungle.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's just going to be this psychedelic thing where they're just hanging on this one note, but when the drums come in, it gets really big and anthemic, and it's really, really moving stuff, and it feels like a closer. It's very good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just too many problems with the pacing. There's 3 legit songs that I think are bad songs, and the songs that are good have, not all of them, but enough of them have like moments where I'm like, that's kind of an average little part. It's cool, but it's fine. There's only like a few like, all right, big songs that I would consider to be like, standouts.
Mm-hmm.
I still like the album because of the standouts, and I've listened to it a lot, but I think in terms of construction and spark, this is the worst.
Better than the last one for me.
So wrong. So wrong. Oh, it hurts.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. When a band has been so high as The Real Thing and Angel Dust, it's crazy. And considering, the infighting and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, even the circumstances with Real Thing and Angel Dust, the fact that they came out so perfect and flawless is fucking insane.
It is pretty nuts. Yeah, it is wild.
So I kind of get why they thought they, could continue in this state until they don't.
This album was produced fucking bizarrely by Rolly Mosiman from fucking Swans. Check out episodes on Swans. And he also collaborated with JJ Thirlwell as Wiseblood. Check out episode on Fetus. Yeah, I never saw that coming. But so around this time period, Borden's playing for Ozzy. Patton's doing a lot of stuff with Bungle. Meanwhile, I believe Bungle is like kind of dying as well. They were also falling apart. Yeah, Hudson, the new guitarist, John Hudson, he said he described these sessions for this album as, he says, as fragmented. He says, I don't know what the other studio experiences were like for Faith No More. I just know that this one was sort of piecemeal. I don't think it was a lack of creativity. I just think people's interests were starting to go elsewhere. Yeah, by the summer of 98, they were done. Everyone was just not interested. Mike Patton said, I think it was the right time to turn off the lights before we became a pathetic band. Creatively, we hit the wall as a band, and it was important to some of us that we end it with integrity. So this is a very funny quote. This one makes me laugh. It says, as a result, the question has come up time and time again over the years, could there ever be a Faith No More reunion? And Patton said, if I stood to make $3 million after taxes, I would consider it. Really? Why bother unless it is for stupid money? At this point, it would not have anything to do with the music. Most of these reunions are sad cash-ins, but to each his own. It gets worse. Billy Gould said, the only thing that would make me interested in it is maybe to do it in a club in Bakersfield without telling anybody for $50. Then I would do it. If it was a human thing between human beings, I would do it. If we couldn't do that, I don't think there would be any reason. It would be fake. Fast forward 1 year to the next album.
Yeah.
This was in 2014. In 2015, they reunited and released the reunion album.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So, time to move on. Last album, the reunion album. They're on hiatus again after this, but here we are. Ty, you ready to wrap this up?
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
On a fucking high note.
Yes, this is 2015's Soul Invictus. We got a seasoned Mike Patton who does all the stuff now.
Just a seasoned Faith No More.
Yep.
I never really thought about how Mike Borden was not a snare roll guy. It never hit me that this is like the only album he
right.
Not only does he do it, he does it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I love this section.
Very epic.
Yeah. Beautifully written.
That's my faith, my blasphemy.
Beautiful stuff. And that song,
that song just sort of doesn't build up to anything. It's very short. It's sort of like an intro song.
Yeah, great intro to the album. They obviously don't sound anything like that classic era, but it's fine. Like, this is a different beast in the best way possible. I think this is like one of the best reunion albums. Like, was so relieved, like how like this, that it's a great record.
It's a great album. I relieved
not
is the
even,
right word, because I couldn't believe how relieved I was when this came out.
Never mind reunion albums. It's just a great album. You throw it up with anything that came out in 2013. It
15.
stands.
Yeah.
Or my bad,
Yeah.
typo. 2015 is just fucking amazing.
It's great. I remember distinctly when they released the Motherfucker single, and I was nervous. I was like, it's called Motherfucker. Okay, I'll give it a shot. And I love it. I loved it immediately. I
think this was 2015 was the last year I participated in Record Store Day, because it's just a fucking clusterfuck. I like this, not to be one of those people, but also to be one of those like, this Spirit is Dead. Like, it was cool. People showing up and they just got what they wanted and they got out, and it was cool. Support like a local business, but fucking so many assholes just show up. Oh, fucking, I want one of everything, and try to. Anyways, I believe Motherfucker was released on Record Store Day, and that is a cool 45 to get.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
So this is a very different album. This, I wouldn't even know how to classify this in like the chronology of their style, because it feels like them, but it also doesn't.
It's kind of a beautiful metaphor about getting older, where they're different and it's fine. It's different. It's not the same band, but they're probably better people.
I would hope so. I imagine so. But the songs are still original, and there's still like a lot of diversity on here. So the Superhero comes on as track 2, and it's like big old giant hits with these driving toms and these back and forth screams over a dirty bass riff. It feels so damn good.
It's just nice to have the Keys have a song where they can be the feature again.
Roddy is like a big part of these songs, and the choruses are spectacular. They're really strong piano lines with a very hooky vocal line, and it's an interesting thing about that chorus, because it ends with that chorus, but it goes on for a while. It kind of just repeats over and over and over again, and it doesn't get tired. It just sort of it turns into this weird trance-like thing where it just keeps repeating and repeating until the song eventually ends. It's very cool.
I like the evolution of their easy listening songs with Sunny Side Up, where you think it's just going to be easy listening, but they throw in a healthy dose of heavy shit on there. They
do. Yeah, they sure do. It also has this really sexy little wah pedal solo section. It fucking feels great. It feels great. And Patton is still doing some crazy screams, even though it's more on the easy listening side. It's very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah. Separation Anxiety is this great job of simulating anxiety. I love the never ending guitar bass riffs until it does crescendo. It just, oh man, it feels good when it hits that. Yeah,
Patton is doing his best breathy stalker voice on that one. It's a very cool. It's a hard one. I think I remember seeing. I'm sure they played this song live when we saw them, but I think I saw it on. They played it on Kimmel, I think, or something. And I remember sounding pretty rough. Like it's a hard thing to pull off, like that type of vocal thing without all the vocal harmony, because there's like a lot of great vocal harmonies on there. A lot of interesting voice stuff, but yeah, it's still good stuff. You may not agree, but it feels like it could have been off King for a Day style, especially like the drum style of that one. But we got some a nice pacing choice with Cone of Shame. The way it opens with that eerie solo guitar.
Yeah, it's probably the most surreal song on the album, but it's also nightmarish and it's heavy and it brings back the element of the band just putting these things together that maybe don't belong together.
Yeah, he's also doing more of that Tom Waitsy kind of raspy character voice, similar to how we did on RV, which I know was very Tom Waits influenced. But when the full band comes in, that song is a perfect example of the strength of some of these vocal hooks. Like some of the vocal hooks on Superhero are incredible. On Cone of Shame, any really satisfying vocal lines.
I love the 1-2 punch of Rise or Fall and Black Friday. It's just Latin vibes, desert vibes. On Rise or Fall, I love the drum beats. It's I haven't said that for a while, so it's also nice to have like Borden be featured in a unique way. Yeah. And then and then this following it up with Black Friday is just so perfect. It's just this, again, this picture being in the desert, listening to both those things.
Rise of the Fall is like the most Italian song they've done. They've had plenty of songs with like some of the Mike Patton Italian influence. I almost said Italian, but for that one, it's like a straight up Italian pop song. Mm-hmm. But it has beautiful moments, it's really nice progressions, and it still gets pretty heavy. It's a little hokey, it's a little goofy, but I think it's great. And Black Friday nailed it with the desert vibes, very deserty, big giant acoustic guitars, but faster and very driving. And yeah, I just like the way it goes on, the way it builds up, the loud parts on that one. It's not bad at all. I like it a lot.
Matador rules. I love how powerful the drums sound on on the album, but specifically that song. And then, Patton's vocal choices on there. He's just going all over the place, but like it's a controlled chaos.
I'll fight anybody who doesn't think Matador is a Faith No More classic. It is the range of it. It takes a while to get going. It takes about 2 minutes to finally kick in, but it's fucking absolutely great. Like you said, the drum sound, there's something really heavy about the drums on that song in particular that, and then in Patton's vocals, that's the highlight of the whole album. The choices, the intensity, it's fantastic. It's one of the best songs. And closes with From the Dead, which is the most hopeful song in the album, one of the most hopeful songs ever that they have.
Yeah, it's bright, uplifting. It's called From the Dead. I'm going to pretend it's about zombies, but it can still be hopeful.
Yeah, why not?
Hopeful zombies.
Yeah, but it's short. It's not like the greatest closer, but it's a nice little, it's a nice way to gently ease you down from the album.
Just a pleasant little cherry on top.
Yeah. I was so delighted by this album when it came out. It's one of my favorite reunion albums. Again, I was so expecting it to be average and forgettable and not great, but I love it. I think it's great. I don't think it has it only has like a couple of like juggernaut songs, where most albums I think have a lot. Even the last album had like 2 or 3.
I think this is a proper album where every song supports each other.
It's the most where you need to hear the whole album. You're not going to be picking out too many like highlights. Whereas a lot of the other albums, you can pick out a good chunk and be like, this is a crazy fucking song. This one, it's this one's, it's a little bit more understated. I do get making Motherfucker the first single because it's really memorable and it's unlike anything they've done in a long time.
It's so fun. Who doesn't like singing the word motherfucker? It's just cathartic.
Not to mention, it's such a great vocal line. It's super catchy.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I get why that and Superhero were like the two leads.
Yeah. Yeah, they went back on hiatus. Also, this was produced by
Mixed by Matt Wallace.
Matt Wallace mixed this one again. Old collaborator. But the cover art and the booklet for photographs were done by Ossian Brown, who was a member of Coil, which is like,
oh shit.
Again, we're
Coil keeps coming up.
Coil keeps coming up. We got to cover Coil at some point. It's going to be a daunting one, but that is a fucking fascinating band. Also, while listening to this album, I dug out my CD copy of it just to look through the stuff. And I saw in the liner notes, it thanks Monica from Speakeasy, who is a friend of the show because she hooked us up with albums every once in a while. And we're...
Oh, shit.
So it's like, what the fuck? We know her. That's wild.
Coming up in the world.
Hell yeah. But yeah, they went back on hiatus. And in 2017, we lose Chuck Mosley. Yeah. So they reunited with him.
Like
2016.
Briefly, right?
Yeah. 2016. They did some shows with him. I don't remember. I don't think it was under, there might've been some under the name Faith No More, but it might've been like Chuck and Friends or something. Yeah. It's nice to see that at least like, so they did that. They had a little, reunion. And I think there was like more legal problems and they had a falling out again over like the rights of We Care a Lot, like the album. Yeah. I think there was like, it got messy right before he died, which is a shame, but, yeah, he was 57. In the statement, it says, after a long period of sobriety, Charles Henry Mosley III lost his life on November 9th, 2017, due to this disease of addiction. We're sharing the manner in which he passed in the hopes that it might serve as a warning or wake-up call or beacon to anyone else struggling to fight for sobriety. That is a bummer.
That sucks. 57 it's like, it's old, but it's too young to...
It's too young.
Pass away.
It's too young to die, but it's like, it is really old when you think about a dude struggling with sobriety. Like,
yeah,
that dude was going through it for a long time trying to stay sober. Mm-hmm. That sucks. As for the rest of the bands, Billy Gould he's worked with a Talking Book recently. According to Tom, John Hudson returned to his previous role of not being in Faith No More. Very good for him. Mike Borden, continued to play live for Ozzy. I don't know if he still does. He might still. I mean, Ozzy hasn't been playing because of, Ozzy.
He's 100 years old.
Yeah, he's very old, but I think he was for a while. Roddy started Man on Man with his boyfriend, Joey Holman. Tom says, I think they're married now, but I could be wrong and not going to check. Yes, I am a terrible researcher. I tried, in his defense, I tried checking. I couldn't find if he was married, if they're married or not. Yeah. But they put out an album like 3 years ago, I think, which I'm curious to hear. And then Mike Patton, continues to do Mike Patton things. He continues to be on every album ever in the world, screaming and doing weird things.
Dead Cross,
hell yeah.
Yeah, future of the band sounds like it's up in the air, but
they don't need to do more. The fact that this reunion album is as good as it is, I mean, good Lord, what else do you fucking need?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to do music, whatever, but I both times I've seen them live has just been so magical. That's the first time I've talked about it before. That's the first time I saw Sparks was during a fucking Faith No More encore.
That's so fucking cool. So
insane.
Cool. I'm so jealous of that. I've only seen Faith No More once. It was with you.
And so I hope it's nothing too serious and people get to experience their music live.
Yeah. I would love to see them again. I mean, that was a really fucking great show. It was when they were touring with the Gimp, and sometimes they'd have like famous people in the Gimp mask that they wouldn't reveal.
And they had flowers on the stage.
Decked out. The whole thing was decked out in flowers, full suits. Yeah.
That's the first time I saw and heard the hip hop group Horror, but they put 9s where the R's are. So
Yeah,
like that was fucking cool.
That's right. They opened for them. That's what a crazy opening band.
Sometimes my memory's wild, but like there's something about concerts where like, oh yeah, I feel like we just like talking about it, I feel like we just saw it yesterday. I know we didn't, but
I can still picture it. I can still picture exactly where we were standing. It's very vivid. It's crazy. That was a very memorable show. Like that one hit me pretty hard. Which is funny because the first time I saw Patton live, it was Tomahawk, and I have no idea who the opening band was. I have no idea.
I've only seen him play those Faith No More shows and one Phantomos performance, which geez, I don't know what the fuck happened there. Jesus Christ, that was bad.
It was bad?
It was bad.
Wait,
it was bad.
Why?
I think there was like mixing issues. There were sound issues. I was fucking bummed out. I was bummed out.
Damn. Well, we also saw Bungle.
Oh, duh.
The first show's back. Yeah.
I think because then lockdown happened.
Yeah, that was the last concert before lockdown.
Yeah. I've seen him four times. You know what? I might have seen Dead Cross open up for the Melvins randomly.
That's pretty sick. That's
4
pretty
to
sick.
5 times.
Yeah.
Whatever, doesn't matter. We're 3 hours in.
Yeah. So we finally made it. This has been a long time coming. God damn, do I love this band. Let's do a little recap.
Worst, least favorite. Introduce yourself or don't. Best personal favorite, Angel Dust.
And now the moment of truth, if I finally decide to stick with my original pick or change it.
Yeah.
As of now, least favorite, introduce yourself.
Hell yeah.
I'm changing. I'm changing because now I'm thinking about how much I love the song Jim, how much I love Mark Bowen, how much I love As the Worm Turns. I'm like, I'm probably gonna go back to We Care a Lot More.
Dude. I'll take that.
Best personal favorite, The Real Thing. It's one of the greatest pieces of music in the world. It's fucking it lifelong album for me. I'll never get tired of it. I'll listen to it for fucking forever. And worst album of the year. It's just the one you feel the chemistry off. There's actual moments that I think are bad on it, which I don't have many. I don't have that to say about many other albums of theirs. But yeah, still plenty of highlights. I mean, not a single bad album in discography. God damn, I love this band. It is time to fucking wrap up. This has been a long episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. If you want to join us, comment, talk some shit, tell us why we're stupid or why you like us. Tell us why Alex is crazy for not liking King for a Day, or tell us why he's not.
I want all the comments to just be about King for a Day.
All of them.
All of them.
You can also subscribe and like the video and all that good stuff. You can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
And please don't forget to follow our history guy, Tom Osman, at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music and his podcast, whatever comes next, where he interviews a bunch of musicians. It's good stuff. He does a lot of work for us. He does a lot of work for us. A lot of research, a lot of fucking albums, a lot of interviews. It's good stuff. Our bread and butter, that is Patreon, patreon.com/everyalbumever. That's where you go. You get 2 bonus episodes a month. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we're covering next. You get to join our Discord, be part of our community. There's great people in there. All a bunch of fucking music nerds just like us. You get to suggest albums for new albums for us to cover in our singles episodes. Albums from, new albums from this year. We'll do episodes on that. And if you're tier 2, you can suggest a full discography for us to cover on these bigger, longer episodes. You could also suggest any album from any discography, and we can do Patreon bonus episodes on it. There's so much there. There's a lot of it's fun. There's a lot there.
A lot of beef.
A lot of beef. Yeah. So, wrapping it up,
you can have it.
I can have it.
You can even pick anything off King for a Day.
There's so many. As much as The Real Thing is in my mind one of the greatest things in the fucking world, and there's so many great songs you could pick off The Real Thing.
So you're gonna play Epic?
Not gonna play Epic. Not gonna play Epic. Sorry, Alex. I gotta do Just a Man.
Go for it. I love this band so much. Whatever, even when I don't like it, it's cool.
I love it. Hell yeah! So thanks so much for listening and watching. See ya.